welcome to the It Doesn't Hold Up podcast. We review and reevaluate all things remember fondly from our childhood and years prior to see if they still hold up. And more often than not, they probably don't. I'm Stuart Shepherd, along with my co-host and good friend Michael Smith. Smith, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Stu. And how are you?
I'm grand. I am serving the public trust, protecting the innocent, and upholding the law.
But are you challenging OCP officers at any point?
Shut up, Smith. That's classified.
Shut up.
Well, that's a little tease about what we're going to do today, but probably not the Robocop film that you're hoping for. There you go.
Not the Robocop film that anyone's hoping for.
No, no. But yeah, before we get into all that, and even before we get into last episode's feedback, little thing to talk about. Not sure if you viewers and listeners are aware, but it's actually our 2-year anniversary of the podcast. I cannot believe how quickly that's gone. That is insane.
We've lasted longer than some marriages.
Oh! You are wicked. Yeah. So,
Oh, don't stop me.
so yeah, this is our 35th episode. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the statistics. So, out of well, I guess it's
Statistics, the most exciting thing known to man.
I know, right? Well, actually, even though this is the 35th episode, we've only got statistics for 34 episodes because we haven't
Why?
rated because we haven't rated this one yet. Anyway,
5 stars.
5 stars. So, out of interest, how much of our stuff do you think doesn't hold up as a percentage?
Ooh. I'm going to say, because I believe I've got more generous as the series has gone on, I'm going to say something like 40% holds up.
Holds up or doesn't
Oh,
hold
no,
up?
40% doesn't hold up. Sorry.
You are not far off. 38% of what we cover does not hold up.
Oh, we've been too
So,
nice. We keep
yeah,
picking good stuff. Let's stop picking good stuff.
we've got a subcategory. We've got it kind of holds up when one of us thinks something is good, the other one thinks it's shit. So, what
Ah.
percentage do you think it kind of holds up? Given you've just said 38%, you have to minus off 100%.
All right, so this is a separate category.
Yes, it kind of holds up.
Okay, 22.
Close, 26. So,
Oh,
therefore,
okay.
trailing just behind of it doesn't hold up is it does hold up at 35%. So there's a lot of shit we
35.
cover that we've revisited. Like, actually, that's pretty good.
So, how does that tally out if you take each individual vote as its own single entity? So, in terms of the total number of votes cast, so it would be what, 68 at this point.
Yep.
How many individual are does, doesn't, or doesn't, doesn't?
Well, you put me on the spot there, Smith.
Yeah, well, I am. This
I'll
is
get that data for you next time.
now
All
you
right?
know what
Yeah.
my assistants at work feel like.
There you go. There you go. So just out of all the stuff we've covered, what do you reckon absolutely does hold up?
What films?
Yeah, just one. Just pick one out of something we've
E.T.
done. Yep, ET, absolutely. That's a
That's
cheaty
pretty
one.
easy.
That's a
That's a
cheaty
cheat. It's
one.
a cheaty one. I would say, Anaconda.
Anaconda did hold up. Yes, we both thought it was a guilty pleasure. So there you go. And
I
then
can
what?
remember the last one we did, Cliffhanger.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think was absolute dog shit? What do you think we absolutely hated?
Ooh, oh, oh, you're testing my memory now, which is terrible. The Mask.
No, that it kind of held up. I liked The Mask. You didn't.
No, I fucking hated it. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Yes, yes, yes. That was
Yeah.
universally hated by both of us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there you go. So yeah, 2 years of the podcast. Can't believe how quickly that's flown by. I've had a blast doing it. I hope you have too, Smith. We're not going anywhere though.
That's
This
been
isn't
all right.
goodbye. So yeah, we've covered more diverse stuff. We've covered TV shows. We've done a cartoon, and that's more to follow. So yeah, always trying to keep you guys guessing what we're going to do next. But anyway, before we get on to the classic that is Robocop 3, just want to cover last episode's feedback, which was Cliffhanger, and we received a boatload of feedback, some of the biggest feedback we've got so far. So, in no particular order.
You could almost say an avalanche of feedback.
Oh!
Oh!
Will you stop? Right. So, in no particular order, great podcast. Loved this film back in the day, and now I'm going to watch it again. That was from friend of the show, Alex, and then he actually sent me a photo of him watching it, and he said, "Yeah, this still kicks off." I
He's probably the only person who's ever taken a photo of himself watching Cliffhanger.
don't know. I took a picture of myself watching it, but I was mainly sent to you to say, "Oh, look what I'm watching." Anyway, Lithgow always plays a great baddie. Really, really love this episode. Great job. I have a question for the next show. When Sarah fell, it looked like Frank was smiling and laughing through the whole ordeal. You'd think Rennie would do another take. Thoughts? I don't think he was. Do you think
No, I don't think it
Michael
was
Rooker was laughing? Oh, yeah, silly bollocks.
Frank.
No,
No, Frank the old guy
oh
in the
no, Frank's a
helicopter.
helicopter. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's How is Michael Rooker in it?
Gibbon Hell.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that was
Rescue
actually
Rangers.
someone else put that as feedback as well. Just given how. Yeah, no, I still don't remember Frank smiling, but now you've got me guessing, so I'm gonna have to go back and watch that a third time. Thanks.
Mm.
Right. Um, from our friends at Movie Lovers Unite, I did a review for this a few years ago, and it was a fun time. Yes, this film is a fun time.
Yeah.
This one made me laugh. On a scale of Rocky to Demolition Man, I'm thinking it's going to be a solid bang in the middle. And the best bit of feedback that I loved, apart from Gabe and Hal, was Ryan.
Right.
Oh, what a hoot that was. Right. Is there anything else you want to say on Cliffhanger before we move on?
Nothing I haven't already said, no.
Okay, right. So this episode's nomination is the old classic Robocop 3. Yeah. I mean, where to start?
Oh, I have thoughts, Stu. I have thoughts.
I know. This time, everyone's favourite cyborg is fighting against OCP and joining the Rebel Alliance, who are about to have their homes demolished in Cadillac Heights. That's about it.
There's no plot. There's not enough plot to sustain this fucking runtime, which is too close to 2 hours for my liking.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting about when this came out because there is a number of different release dates for this. So
Oh, was there?
I know I've got the data in front of me. It looks like that it came out in Japan first. It came out in Japan in May 1st, 1993. It then didn't come out in the United States until November the 5th, 1993. And then us in the UK, we didn't get it till June 24th, 1994. That is amazing.
That is what you call a fractured rollout.
Yeah.
Now,
So,
I remember back in the day, there used to be a bit of a gap between when something came out in the US and when something came out in the UK, but it was often a case of months.
yeah.
3 months, 4 months, maybe they'd get it in and some, you still got like global rollouts, right? So Jurassic Park came out in 1993, and I'm pretty sure that got an almost
Yeah.
simultaneous international rollout on the same day.
Yeah.
Because we're still talking, and let's not forget this is pre widespread use of the internet. So
Mhm.
spoilers were sort of harder
Yeah.
to come by. Although, no, not as we'll get to in the trivia later, not for Robocop 3, they weren't.
No. No. And also, if you have movies that come out months in advance of everyone else, that just encourages piracy because then you'd end up someone filming it in American screens and then somehow or another it'd make its way over to the UK and hey presto, you got a pirate video.
Yeah, I think again that was whilst prevalent, a lot less prevalent in the pre-DVD era, just because it was harder to ship tapes. They were bigger, they were bulkier. It was harder to do the transfer. DVDs and the rise of sort of digital filmmaking made it a lot easier to pirate stuff. So I mean, you remember back in the day, there'd be men standing in car parks surrounded by Asda's and other retail parks in the UK selling DVDs out the back of their car.
Yeah, I do. Although saying
And
that,
I bought some of those DVDs.
I did too. No, I had a fair share of dodgy videos as well. The people would like
Well,
knock on the door and
you had X-Men, I remember.
no, I got that
Or
when
was
I
it
was in
X-Men 2?
Thailand. No, I
Oh, you
had
got it in
X-Men.
Thailand.
It
Yeah,
was
the
a
X-Men, yeah.
VCD and I
Yeah, and it was a
copied it onto a
terrible
video.
copy.
Yeah, it was filmed at a cinema.
Terrible copy. Yeah.
But no, a lot of those Disney videos used to fly about on pirate as well because they were so hard to come by and really expensive. But anyway, sorry,
Yeah,
we're going
I had Jurassic Park. I had a VHS of Jurassic Park.
a dodgy one.
Yeah, yeah, it was basically unwatchable.
Yeah, as most pirate videos are.
Oh yes.
Right. Anyway, so for the sake of this, we're going to say the scene setting is 1993, even though we didn't get to 1984. However, we've done
Hmm.
1994 to death. We've done 1993 a few times. So our usual scene setting section. What are we doing, Smith?
Well, all I wanted to do was have a quick conversation with you about what you think some of the best and worst sequels are of all time. Obviously, this is number
Oh,
three, and I don't think we'd need to be as specific as number threes. And I'm going to take as an example, as we are in 1993, and as I've already mentioned it at least once, this is the year that Jurassic Park was released.
yep.
Now, Jurassic Park, to my money, is a film that is unique in that not a single one of the sequels, with maybe the exception of number two, if you squint, can be called good.
Correct.
Jurassic Park, stone cold, modern day classic.
Yeah, it's
Jurassic Park: The
amazing.
Lost World, fine,
Fine.
watchable, pointless, utterly pointless and redundant. Beyond that, absolute pile of shit.
Yeah, agreed.
Every single one of them. And then you have another franchise which didn't come out in 1993, but has a similar, it was a slightly different model. Die Hard. Now, Die
Nah.
Hard has four sequels. Four? Four.
Yeah, there's 5 films.
There's five films, so there's four sequels.
Yep.
How many of them are good?
Two.
Die
Die
Hard
Hard.
2?
Die 2, Die with a
Die
Vengeance.
Harder.
4 and 5 are arse gravy.
This is true, right? So, and I don't know why. Well, I do know why. It's because they were made much later, and they tried to make them PG-13 and make them more accessible to people,
Oh.
and which is always it's always a mistake. So what would you say? Oh, actually, I'm looking in front of me here, and I've got my
hmm
lovely branded Jaws mug from Universal Studios Osaka.
hmm
Um, what what do you think about Jaws sequels wise?
It's been a long time since I've seen them. Jaws is a Stone
Mm.
Cold classic. I've
Yeah, absolutely. Best one was
got a
made.
fondness for Jaws 2. It's essentially the same film, a lot of retreading of old ground. From what I remember of Jaws 3 and 4, they are dog shit.
They
So,
are absolutely terrible. Four in particular is absolutely terrible,
yeah.
with its sort of insinuation that sharks can take revenge.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Yeah,
So,
no.
so what would you say are some of the best and worst sequels ever
Well, let's
made?
go with the best sequels. Terminator
Best
2,
sequel,
definitely.
Judgment Day.
100%. Judgment Day, yeah.
After that, off a fucking cliff.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, three's got a great ending, but three again, just like with RoboCop, goes down the PG-13 route. Oh, for fuck's sake! Will you learn
Yeah,
your lesson? Um, yeah, Aliens by far.
yeah. I'd even put a hat in the ring for Alien 3. I know you wouldn't. I know
No.
we disagree on this entirely.
Yes, no,
I believe
no.
I might be in the minority on my love for Alien
Yeah,
3.
yeah, definitely. I quite like Rocky too. Like, I think that's
Yeah, it's
real
fine.
good. You know,
Rocky 2's
like
fine. Rocky 3 and 4 are fine as well.
actually
Not
they're all
good,
fine. I
but
love it. No, no, but the thing is, one is
5.
is no, no. I rewatched five recently. Not that bad. It's all right.
All right.
No, I think Rocky one's outstanding, but Rocky two, it's slightly inferior, but it's just as good. And it's got the feel good moment of him actually winning the title at the end. You're like, oh yeah,
Mm.
sick. Back to the Future two and three. For me, all of those
But
films.
Back to the Future. Does that count? Because they're sort of a trilogy in the true sense, in that they do all interlink and
Well,
rely on
two
each
and
other.
three do. It's a bit like the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy. One can stand alone, and the other two are linked, but they like three isn't necessarily
But
linked to
two
one
ends on
type
the
thing.
two, but one ends on the cliffhanger,
I guess.
so it does lead directly into a new adventure.
Yeah, maybe. X-Men two, really good.
Mm.
I really like Saw two as well.
Yeah, I like Saw 2. I like Saw
Yeah,
2. I have a soft spot for most of the Saw films, but that's because I'm a sucker for shit horror.
yeah. Anyway, enough about what about you? What's some of your best sequels?
Oh, best sequels. Obviously, you got stuff like The Godfather, Part 2. Um, no, disagree.
Yeah, sorry, I was wagging my finger if you're not watching on YouTube. I don't get why everyone loves Godfather 2. I just found it really boring. And let's not talk about 3.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I love the
yeah.
first one. Love the first Godfather. The second one, I just think it's so overrated. It's like, why does everyone love this film as much as they do?
Hmm, fair enough. I think I appreciate, but I've always liked films that are very long and very boring.
Yes.
Slow
My
burn,
kind of
slow burn.
film.
It's my kind of film. Low, slow, long burn character studies. That's my kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I can
Okay.
pretentiously sit there with my imaginary pipe, go, yes, yes, yes. Toy Stories 2 and 3.
Yep.
They're both
Agreed.
great films. Four's redundant. Don't understand why they needed to do it. Um, what else? Hellraiser 2. I like Hellraiser 2.
It's decent.
A lot of the Friday the 13th.
Yeah, do you know what? They're so shit, but they're great shit.
Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors.
Oh, that is a good one.
Best,
That's a good one.
probably best part 3 of any series. Oh, no, wait, Toy Story 3. Ignore that. Ignore that entirely. Toy Story 3
Yeah.
is the best Toy Story film. Yeah. Okay, that's some of mine.
Cool. All right, let's go with the crap ones. So
That's much more fun.
the crap sequels. Nightmare on Elm Street 2. That is dog shit.
Oh,
I don't know
that
why
is
everyone
bad.
goes on about how it's this cult classic. I was like, no, it's just shit. It's just not a good
It's
film.
what people do now, right? It's all revisionist. It's revisionist history on bad films. Somebody recently I read an article where it's saying that Terminator Dark Fate will be remembered as as much better than it was when it's like, it's absolutely fucking terrible. What are you talking
No,
about?
no, it's not. I don't know why Empire gave
Oh,
that 4 out of 5. It's not
it's
good.
misunderstood. It isn't misunderstood. I
No,
understood it perfectly.
it's
Shit.
crap. Yeah. Yeah, that's toilet. What else? Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Again, not the first on this podcast we've brought that up. That's crap. Really didn't
Mm.
enjoy that.
Oh,
Rush Hour 3.
Rush Hour. No. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is an interesting one as well because Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 is again stone cold classic, like
Yeah.
line in a bottle. That film. You can't recreate it. God knows
No,
they tried.
no,
Two's
leave it.
shit. Three is average, but also shit. Like it's not good.
Yeah.
Four's unwatchable. The remake is fine.
Yeah, I like the remake.
The remake sequel is shit.
Oh, yeah.
Prequel. It's the beginning. Yeah, it was
Uh,
awful. I mean, we saw that in the cinema. It was absolutely terrible.
yeah.
Um, Halloween 5 and 6.
Oh,
Are
yeah, they're
are
terrible.
awful, awful films. Awful. Halloween 8 as well is an awful film.
Yeah. Yeah,
Halloween Kills is an awful film.
yeah. We seem to be talking about horror sequels. We need to talk about
Yeah, we
other
do.
stuff.
I do
Yeah.
like horror. Let's think action films then, seeing as we're talking about RoboCop today. Oh, The Predator,
Oh
linking
my
back to this film,
God. Yeah, that is
because
not good.
it was written by Fred Dekker, who directed RoboCop 3,
Yeah, and his good friend was Shane Black.
who is in RoboCop
RoboCop 3.
3.
Yes, absolutely. Um, yeah, Jesus. Oh, X-Men 3. That's awful.
Oh God, yeah, isn't it just? Isn't it
No,
just? That's
but you know
really, really
what?
bad.
It's not as bad as some of the later X-Men movies, like Dark Fate's fucking all. No, not Dark Fate. Dark Phoenix. That's
Dark Phoenix
terrible.
was, yeah, that was
Yeah,
even worse. They did the same story that they'd already bodged, and they bodged it again, but slightly worse this time because the acting wasn't as good.
yeah, yeah. We've already mentioned it, of course. Batman Forever and Batman Robin. Awful.
Yeah, people. That's another one that people are trying to revisit. They're like, "Oh, it's not that bad." It's like, no, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty
No,
bad.
it's pretty bad. Pretty,
Pretty
pretty
bad.
bad. Pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Uh,
Spider-Man 3
Um, I
tried
don't
to do too
mind
much.
it. They fucked with Venom, which upset me, but yeah, it's not unwatchable. But yeah, it's not as good as one and two.
No,
Um,
tried to do too much.
oh, and then the ultimate one, Superman 4: The Quest for Peace. Good
Superman 4:
God,
The Quest for More Money.
from Canon Films.
Oh, canon.
Yeah. Oh, any others? Because we should really start talking about Robocop 3.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Right then. Okay, so we have to do the maths here. So if I said maths, if Robocop 3 came out in June 1994, then
Mm.
we would have been way too young. I would have been 9. You would have been
hmm
9 as well.
hmm
We no way we've got to see it at the cinema because it was actually 15 here in the UK, even though it was a
Was it?
PG-13 in America. Yeah, it's a 15.
Oh,
They
did it
when you
go on the cinema here?
yeah yeah yeah
God, Christ alive, it does not feel like a cinema film
yeah no definitely
at
did.
all.
My parents told me that years ago they went to see Naked Gun 33 and a third at the cinema, and there was a teaser trailer and all it was a car going up a load of car park, to the top level, and then it drove off, and then the top blew up, and then RoboCop comes out and goes, "You call for a backup," and it was just a teaser trailer with RoboCop 3 coming this summer. I was like, "Oh, okay," but yeah, that was way back whenever. Uh, why do I remember shit like this? Anyway,
I don't know why, when you were trailing this film, you would choose to use the voice of the man playing RoboCop in this film.
I don't know. I don't know.
You'd immediately go, "That's not bloody RoboCop."
No. Yeah, what was I going to say? I completely forgot what I was going to say. Yeah, sorry. So that came out at the cinema in June 1994. We probably would have
hmm
watched it on rental. I know I did. So that wouldn't have come out until Christmas 1994. So either December 1994 or January 1995. So yeah, as a family, we rented it straight away and we all watched it as a family because nobody, and I mean nobody, is a bigger RoboCop fan than me, right? And you can put anything RoboCop in front of me. I loved the TV show. I had all the toys. I had the toys from when the original movie came out. I had the toys of RoboCop 3. I even had RoboCop Bubble Bath. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm wearing a RoboCop t-shirt. I fucking love
RoboCop.
RoboCop.
But do you, Stu, have a tiny Clarence Bodiger?
No, I don't have a tiny Clarence Bodyguard. I wish I did, but
Where's my fucking phone call?
can you fly, Bobby? But yeah, so yeah, that would have been me. I would have watched it immediately when it was available to rent because my parents didn't go watch it at the cinema because my dad's a huge RoboCop fan as well, but oddly enough, didn't go watch it at the cinema. But yeah, what about you? When was the first time you saw
Ooh,
or
now,
heard about this or whatever?
we would not have rented this as a family.
Oh, okay.
I could probably confirm that my dad has, mum and dad have never watched RoboCop or RoboCop 2 or RoboCop 3. And they might be tangentially aware of what a RoboCop is. Um,
Being police
I,
officers themselves.
being, yes, ex police officers themselves, they might be
Yeah.
generally familiar. I remember very clearly where I saw the first RoboCop. I have no memory of where I saw the second. I think it might have been on TV. This one, I recorded it off Sky TV, and I know I recorded it off Sky TV, which actually is the memory of a lot of these films when I was younger, because I
Mhm.
watched it again and again and again because I had it on VHS,
Yeah.
and it was one of the things. And it would have been probably a summer. I would imagine by the time it was on Sky, we're talking summer '95, maybe late '95,
Yeah, that sounds about right.
where I watched it quite continuously at the weekends. And there are certain lines and moments in this film that I remember very, very clearly. And my critical faculties as a younger man weren't quite at the point where I could identify the different quality between the first one and this one.
Oh dear. Oh dear. well, we'll talk about this later about what we loved and hated about it and that sort of thing. But again, just to reiterate, you could have put anything RoboCop in front of me when I was a kid and I would have watched it. Well, oddly enough, I never watched the cartoon. I'm not sure we got it in this country.
I've never seen the cartoon. I very clearly remember watching the first episode of the TV series when it came out because it was a big
Yeah.
sort of it was a Sky and it was big, like they trailed it
Yep.
loads and it was, oh, it's coming, and yeah, like I remember it's the bit in that film where he kind of shoots through a wall and gets Pudface, which was the main
Yeah.
villain in the it's very silly. Um yeah, I yes, I remember that coming out. But no, I don't think we ever got the cartoon over here because I've never
No.
seen it.
Actually, just to go back to the TV show, I also remember another memory's come back. There was a whole lot of confusion because I saw in a magazine there was a TV show of RoboCop coming out, but the pilot episode, which was essentially episode 1 and 2, was being released as like a
Mm-hmm.
debut feature movie, and you could go rent it. And I remember me and my dad going down to Ritz, that old video store that wasn't Blockbuster Video, and there was all this confusion. They thought I wanted RoboCop 3. They went, no, it's not out yet. I said, no, it's this one. It's called The Future of Law Enforcement. And they were like, what? And then eventually they realized what I was talking about and they gave it to me. I was like, oh, so this isn't RoboCop 3, but no, it's something else. And then, yeah, eventually I worked out it's the pilot for the TV show. And I watched it in the TV show and I was like, fuck is this? But again, love RoboCop, so even if it was
Yeah.
shit, I was still going to soldier through and watch it. But yeah.
Soldier through. This is when you first, as a child, learned what disappointment was.
Yeah, it's like, well, it's not. He's not murdering people like he does in the first one, brutally, but yeah, it's fine. He's RoboCop. I'll watch it.
He
You
hasn't
know.
shot anyone in the dick.
Yeah, disappointed. But yeah, cool. Right, so that's all the context setting and stuff. Shall we get into the plot of RoboCop 3?
The, the plot.
So we get MGM, and my first point was, is this our first MGM film? You think we would have covered something by now?
Oh, I'm sure we have.
No, we do a lot of TriStar. A lot of TriStar,
Yeah, but
but
this was an Orion as well. 'Cause I bloody love that
yeah,
Orion logo.
when it all spins around or whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and then it becomes the stars. But how many films do you think have that logo and then hand down as though it's
Yeah,
like just the stars? It must happen so often.
that is a nice transition shot. I like that because yeah,
Nice.
got the nice nostalgic feeling of Orion. I've written down, man, they made some good shit. And then, yeah, it pans down. You see all the stars. Like, oh, that's really, really cool. I like that. And then we get some sort of OCP propaganda film about the upcoming Delta City. And I'm like, why haven't they built this yet? Like, they've discussed Delta City in the first film. They're carrying on discussing it in the second film, and they
Mhm.
still haven't built it by the third film. Why? Plot reasons.
Well, because this kind of large mega city is going to cost money and time.
Yeah, I guess so. But you think over the course of 6 years from Robocop 1 to 3, they would have built Delta City by now. But there you go. We cut to media break and they've got back Casey Wong. That same dude plays Casey Wong in all three of them, but they haven't got back Jess Perkins, which is a shame. Really
Yeah,
good.
this is the bit where it sort of starts to feel wrong.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
No, go on. Why's that?
Because the advert for Delta City isn't um the same type of satirical adverts we got in the previous two.
Yeah, okay.
We don't have um we don't have the kind of violent news stories that we've had in previous
Ah, okay.
films.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
okay.
what I mean? Like it feels a bit wrong.
Yeah, I get you. What I liked about this one though, it's almost like it's returning back to the original RoboCop, but dumbing it down. Because RoboCop 2 goes off and does its own fucking thing. Like, it doesn't even have the same theme music in it and stuff. And RoboCop's blue and media breaks a bit different and that sort of thing. But I get what you're saying. But
Well,
it
this
is a
is
bit,
this is on the theme point. This is they've got Basil Pudelaris, I think his name is.
yeah, yeah,
He
yeah.
was the composer for the first film, wasn't in the second film. He's back for this film, so that the themes are again like slightly repeated from the first film. So you've got that
Yeah,
sort of carryover. But you're right, RoboCop 2 itself is a nasty little film that goes off in
yeah.
its own weird, nasty little ways. I don't hate it, but
It's it's different. Out of all three,
yeah,
that's the one that stands out. It's completely different. Yeah, we learn that OCP has been taken over by Japanese company Kinemitsu. And we cut to a family home where Nico, on her imaginary technology laptop, like, what is this thing? This
yeah,
doesn't exist.
tapper tapper tapper. Tappa, tappa, tappa. She's just literally flinging her fingers randomly at the. This is always the way when you have like hackers. In fact, this is so fucking
Ugh.
90s. It's so
Mm.
90s. It's like, oh, we're gonna have someone who's hacking, and it's like, yeah, but you don't know what that means. And it's not someone throwing their fingers randomly at a keyboard and just things happening because it's just not how it works.
No, and also, why did her parents get her a laptop? Why is she allowed to hacking? What is she hacking? She's like 12.
Yeah.
None of this makes sense. But
Also, why
yeah,
is her mum Japanese?
why can't she be Japanese?
Well, because she's not half Japanese. I looked
But
up the actress. She
she's not
bloody
mixed
isn't.
race. Okay.
No,
Yeah, but also Casey Wong is not Asian either.
which is weird actually, because in my head I remember him being Asian, and when I looked at it, I
Yeah,
was like, "Oh, he's not, is he?"
he's called
Well, he
like
might be.
Mario something or other. But
Yeah,
yeah,
he
no,
might. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Right, anyway, we're going off on a tangent. But yeah, Nico's watching Media Break and she's learning about what's going on with OCP and all that sort of stuff. But her mum wants to finish her calculus and come have dinner. I was like, calculus? What? And it's like some maths-based program she's doing. Like, what the fuck
It's
is this?
I think calculus is a thing that Americans have.
Okay, fine.
Type of
Uh,
maths or
and now
math.
yeah. That's why I said earlier, maths, not math. Yeah, also, we see that it's Christmas. So part of me's like, does this make this a Christmas film then?
Well, maybe, but it's Christmas is never referenced again.
No, no. Later on at the Rebel base, you see another Christmas tree. In the precinct, there
Oh,
is a Christmas tree. Yeah, nobody actually says, "Oh,
is
it's
that I
Christmas."
missed that when I was watching? I was too busy furiously writing things down.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
No, no, it's
and
Christmas.
I will almost make this point very quickly, as well as like a hacker. And I know number two did it, but number two did it very differently. In films like this, the second you introduce a small child, it's the death knell. It's like, oh, we've run out of ideas. Let's have a kid in it.
Oh,
Put a
kids
kid
are
in it.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I didn't mind the kid in the second Hob, the leader of the gang. I kind of like that. It's like he's
Yeah, but
been
it's
misguided.
different.
He's been taken into a gang. I was like, yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it's different. It's different.
yeah.
This is just cute little kid. It's like, oh
It,
God.
annoying
This
little
film,
kid.
in the first films, he shot a man in the dick.
Yeah, yeah. Now he's hanging around with a 12-year-old. It's weird. Right, and then Media Break carries on talking about how the Japanese company and OCP will be tackling urban resettlement and that the crime rate in Detroit is turning into a war zone, but the solution is the rehabs. So these are urban rehabilitation officers, and yeah, they're led by stuffy old Brit Paul McDaggart. Now, I I hated McDaggart when I watched this as a kid. I fucking hated him. I hate the whole Brits in American movies and all that sort of shit. I was like, yeah, yes.
Yeah.
He's the best thing in this film. He's great in this film. As an adult, I was
You,
like, I fucking love John Castle in this. He's really good.
I think, well, I'd written down like McDaggett is a really awkward name to say. I don't know
Yeah,
why they called him that. They could have called him like McTaggart even, but McDaggett, it sounds
yeah,
weird. It's a weird name. He, I mean, he's chewing the scenery.
yeah.
Oh Lord, yeah. I didn't like him in it. I didn't. I thought he was far too panto villain,
Really? No,
far
I
too
thought
sneery, leery. I'm a bit bored. Why am I here?
no, I thought out of everyone, he was the one who's taking it seriously. Like Rip Torn is overacting. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Rip Torn's always overacting.
But yeah, I thought that John Castle approached it quite well. Just like, yeah, I didn't hate him in this. I
I
didn't.
enjoyed him. Really, I liked him when I was a kid
Oh,
because
really?
I always liked the villains when I was a kid. I always liked the villains, and I just thought he was like really like, yes, I'm British. I'm like, I'm British.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, no, less
yeah.
so as an adult though. Here's a
All right.
question, right? It's Christmas. You see
Mhm.
Nico's bedroom has
Yep.
all like her toys in it. Why
Yep.
does she have an Ed 209 toy?
Yeah. I've written this down later on, so I can only think it's something like in the Boys. Is it
Mm.
Vanguard who owns that in the Boys? What's the name of that corporation? The
Vought.
Vault. Yeah, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah,
And they market everything, don't they? So I can only
yeah.
think OCP are just doing that. They're just marketing toys for kids of Robocop and Ed 209. But why? Maybe
Ed,
Robocop, but why Ed 209?
yeah, Ed 209 was a failed law enforcement machine. It wasn't like, as it turns out, it's still in operation for the 2 minutes it's in this movie. But
Yeah. It's in the second one, very briefly. You see him on Media Break that it's malfunctioning and whatever else. So again, you're reiterating the point. It's crap.
yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, sorry. So back to McDaggart. He says, although they're serving eviction notices, people have passed their urine tests and exams. Like, what? The fuck does that mean? And they're being rehomed with new jobs, and they are cops and nothing more, and they are not robots. It's like, okay then. So yeah, these people are
okay.
being turfed out.
McDaggett, the crime
McDaggart.
dog.
So these people are being turfed out of Cadillac Heights where they live and being ring home with new jobs. Sure,
Cadillac,
sure.
Cadillac Heights, or the backlot of the studio, because this
Yes.
looks so much like a like it's this
So cheap.
looks like yeah, it looks cheap. It looks like a TV movie. Everything looks like it was filmed at the cheapest location, which was right around the corner of the studios. Like if they'd gone around the corner, you'd be in the fucking old west.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing that bothered me about RoboCop 2, right? Because the first one is so beautifully shot, and it's shot in Texas, from what I
Mm,
understand. And the second one was like filmed in like California, and it's just noticeably different. I was like, that is not where the first one was filmed. Like the precinct
yeah.
doesn't even look the same, you know?
No, 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 no.
Yeah. Anyway, we're not talking about the second one, I'm talking about the third one. Anyway, so Nico's dad comes in to say goodnight to her, and she asks, is it true about the evictions? And he denies it. And then instantly a wrecking ball comes through the
It's
building.
it's it's your home. You're safe here. Crash bang wallop. So yeah, there it is.
And then why does it cut to that Bixby Snyder show? Oh, I'd buy that for $1. It's like you've just shoehorned that in for no
Yeah,
fucking reason. And
yeah,
who's
yeah.
watching that TV? Why is it on?
Why is it on? And what is that show? I never. That's the one thing I've never really understood in the RoboCop universe as a whole. What's that show? What is
It's
that show?
about
Is that Benny Hill?
Leary old, but yeah, it's essentially on Benny Hill. Yeah. The family escape the house, and we see that they do have an eviction notice, and it's a bit burnt for some reason. I was like, why is it a bit burnt?
Yeah, it's I don't know. I've written down here at this point the acting in this is fucking amateur hour. Like,
Yeah,
it's terrible. The parents are terrible.
yeah, for all
Like
the
everyone getting
30 seconds that
hassled.
they're in it. Yeah,
Everyone getting hassled by the rehabs. It's awful. It's going, hey, hey, stop shooting me. Hey, hey. It's like, oh,
yeah.
fucking hell.
Yeah, it's not good because yeah, outside there's chaos going on. Helicopters are flying around. Rehab officers are rounding people up. And then we get a title card of an oversized three, and then then it says RoboCop. Like, okay, right,
Robocop is not going to appear for another 10 minutes.
yeah, he does not show up until the 20-minute mark properly. I'm like,
Yeah.
20 minute. I know we had to wait for him in the first one, but at least you got Alex Murphy. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
there was a point in the first one where you had to wait for him. We
Yeah,
know what he looks like, or do we?
yeah, because it's the new audience who are going to be watching this. Kids, like kids know who he is.
Oh, kids watch fucking RoboCop. I
I
watched RoboCop when
know.
I was like 10.
Yeah. Actually, I should have said that at the start. Like, I watched the first RoboCop way too young. I
Oh,
was
I
like
very clearly
6 when I
remember
watched it.
my aunt rented that from a guy that used to drive around her neighborhood with a van renting videos out the back of
Oh
it.
yeah,
That's where I saw RoboCop when I was far too young.
way too young.
Because they were like, oh, it's an action film, it's a cop in it, it'd be
Yeah,
fine.
exactly. Yeah, it's like no,
Shot in the dick.
shot at the dick, melting people, hookers, drugs, everything. Yeah, what kind of film?
And may I just reiterate, dick shots.
Dick shots. Yeah, people are being forced into buses to God knows where, and then we meet Bertha, played by Pounder, who's not. I knew that would pop you.
Bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo.
There you go. Um, she starts preaching to everyone to resist and is instantly knocked to the ground and silenced by McDagger, who's overseeing this operation. And then, and as Bertha's being roughed up by some other bloke, she refers to herself as an old lady. She's like, old lady? She's like 40 something. Is that an old lady? Does that make us old
Maybe.
men?
God, yeah. Well, no,
God, yeah.
no. My outlook on life and varicose veins made me an old man.
And then Bertha places a bomb on the wall for 15 seconds for some reason, nicks the megaphone from the officer, wallops him, and then starts preaching again. And the bomb goes off. What the hell is going on?
Oh, so stupid, this film.
It really is.
The little girl is terrible.
She's so
She
annoying.
is awful. Like, the one thing that I'm so glad at in modern TV and movies is that child actors have got better.
Mm.
Like, child actors today
Yep.
are like, if you've seen, you watch Adolescence?
No, everyone keeps going on about that. I
The
need to go
lead
on it.
kid in that is phenomenal, and kid actors generally. I think it probably started with Dakota Fanning, and it's just got better from there.
Yep.
But God damn it, back in the early '90s,
Yeah, you'd like to think, did any of these kids go to stage school, or they just kind of like models who just got, oh, you'll do for a film, you know? So,
yeah,
yeah, there you go. Nico's separated from her parents. They're being forced onto a bus, and then we never see him again for this movie. The town is now in ruins, and Nico's managed to evade capture, and she's wandering about the wreckage all alone. I'm like, how? What?
she's
Why was it all
wandering
busy?
around going,
And
"Mom,
no,
Mom." Oh, someone shoot the kid.
so why are you saying that? You saw they went on the bus. Obviously, they're not here anymore.
Clarence Bodiger wouldn't have any of this. Clarence Bodiger
No.
would have put a bullet in the back of her head.
Yeah, because he's got this problem. Cops don't like him, so he don't like cops.
So I don't like cops.
Yeah. Nico finds a cool Robocop toy in the ground, and out of nowhere, those rehab rascals are back, and they give chase to Nico.
They're all those rotters that she just shoots her.
Hey, stop right there! No, they just
Hey
shoot
there,
her
come back here, I'll shoot you, I'll do it.
right in the back. Nico's grabbed into the van by Bertha and her team, thus escaping, and then she tells Nico that she's with them now, and she instantly forgets about her parents and doesn't care
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. She's like, but what about my mum and dad? It's like, okay, fine, I'll just live in this van with these weird people.
Who have
Hmm.
guns.
Hmm.
In the van are Kuntz, and I think the guy with the baseball cap is called Zach, but I only saw that from IMDb, and Moreno, and they're part of the resistance.
Koontz is played by Stephen Root,
Oh,
who you all
why?
know from lots and lots of things.
Comedy things.
Comedy. No, seriously, he's in Barry. And he's in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and he's in loads and loads and loads. So I wrote it down because I was looking at the cast of this as I was watching it, and he's like Barry, Dodgeball, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, Monkey Shines. He's in a film called Monkey Shines, which actually he's back to Cliffhanger because the female lead in Cliffhanger was also in Monkey Shines, and
Oh,
along with Rip Torn, our second Dodgeball person that's in this film.
oh, Ripsaw is in dodgeball. He
Yeah, dip,
snatches my
dive, duck, duck, and dodge.
You're about as useful as a cock flavored lollipop.
Do I have to drink my own urine? No, but I do because it's sterile and I like the taste.
Ripsaw awesome in that film. Anyway, so the van drives to what appears to be OCP's armory storage, and they very easily break into it using a very small bomb on the gate, which causes a lot of damage. Once in, they encounter Ed 209, who's guarding the facility, and Nico's excited, like, Ed 209! And again, I can only imagine she knows who he is because she's got the toy, because she's got it from OCP
But Ed 209 shoots people.
very violently.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then she starts using her imaginary tech to bypass the robot to make him loyal as a puppy. And I've got many questions here. Right.
yeah,
How
yeah,
does
yeah.
she
Right.
how does she know where the access point is? How does she
hmm
know how to override it?
hmm
How could she do it so easily? How
hmm
did she have the technology and program to do this?
hmm
Why didn't Eto and I just shoot the shit out of her or stomp on her all throughout
Yep.
this? None of this
These
makes
are all
sense.
these are all the questions I have.
He just looks
It
down
doesn't
and was
make
like,
any.
well, I'm just going to keep talking to you other people. What?
You have 2 seconds to comply. It's absolute nonsense. Doesn't make a lick of sense.
I remember even as a kid getting really angry at this bit because I'm like, oh, it's 09. I love it's 09. He's going to blast the shit out. It's like, why is he loyal as a puppy? What? What?
No, it's fine though because you won't see him again.
No, no,
This
no,
is
no.
the end of Ed 209 in the Robocop franchise.
He's back in the remakes, but not quite.
Yeah, I don't count the remake.
Yeah, it's shit.
On account of how it sucks.
Yeah. So the team start trying to use a stolen key card off a dead cop to open the doors, but instead it alerts the police that someone's trying to break in. And then Nico has overridden Ed 209 again to blow open the door. I'm like, all
I
right.
have a problem with this as well. Ed 209 shoots the door and the door explodes outwards.
Yeah.
Does that make any fucking sense?
And only a very small hole. I was like, do you think that's a good idea to shoot into an armory?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Could be anything explosive in there. Nah, just blow a hole in it.
That'd be fine. And the team start loading up on guns, and they take a very obvious looking flight pack as it looks expensive. Why? What do you
Yeah,
mean it
why?
looks? Who are you going to sell it to?
What? Yeah, why are you taking it? Why is it just there?
Makes
Like,
no
why is it
sense.
just lying around in the police armory? Right? It's not owned by the police. It's owned by OCP. You later find
Yeah.
out that they were working on it and it got discontinued. So it would just be in the police armory. If
No.
anything, you'd have thrown it away. It'd have been trashed. It would have been
Yeah.
broken down for parts. You wouldn't just have it.
It makes no
And it
sense.
certainly wouldn't be working in working order.
No, because she even says later on it's a prototype. So
Yeah.
anyway, the cops arrive, but Nico's overridden Ed 209 and it starts shooting at the officers. It led suckers. And I've put, as this film is PG-13, nobody's obliterated, just cars are destroyed.
No, the car's destroyed, and if anyone does get hit by bullets, there's no blood.
And also, what was Nico's plan? I was like, were you just telling Ed 209 to murder cops really
Yeah.
badly?
She was like, no, no, I'm just going to tippy tappa tappa, shoot the car, but don't shoot the cops. Shoot around the cops, but try to incapacitate, but don't kill them. And act as loyal as a puppy. And yeah, there you go. Say eat lead suckers because that's cool. Tappa tappa
Yeah.
tappa tappa.
So
Tappa
yeah,
tappa.
goodbye Ed 209. One of the best things in Robocop 1. So sad. So
So
sad.
sad. What a way to go out.
What a way to go out.
Didn't go out on his feet. He went out on his fucking knees.
Ah! Anyway, so the van speeds off and cops give chase on foot, and then we cut to a 24-hour diner run by Jeff Garlin. It's Jeff
I know.
Garlin!
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, hey.
He's funny. And then some moron tries to rob the place. Who is that fucking guy who tries to rob the place? He looks
Oh,
so
I
familiar.
don't know. He did look familiar. I didn't look it up. I
Yeah,
will. I
yeah,
will.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe in the break or whatever.
In the
There
yeah, the
is no
break.
break.
Oh, there is no break. We do this all the way through.
Seamless.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't realise that it's full of cops. And I thought, why are there so many cops in here? Like, yes, cops like donuts, but they can't all be on a break at once, can they? And like, no wonder there's a war zone going on. There's no cops.
Still aren't going out. There's a war zone on. I'm
Yeah.
I'm staying here and eating my donuts.
Yeah, and I think he said something like doing like, what's it like being a rocket scientist? It's kind of funny. And yeah, and also like you said earlier on, one of these cops is Shane Black, which is cool.
Hmm.
A radio alert which makes the cops need to do some work, and Lewis gets volunteered to respond to the call. But she's not with Robocop though, as he's not big on donuts. And just to remind you, we're now 15 minutes into this film, and there's no Robocop
What's
yet,
the film
not a
called,
sign
Stu?
of him. It's called Robocop 3.
And we haven't even had one RoboCop yet, let alone three.
Awful. Right, so Lewis and a couple of the cops give chase to the yellow vans at speed. But I must say, this car chase is actually pretty good. So
I
that's quite
put that there.
exciting.
Yeah, fairly
Yeah,
good car chase because it's really easy to do an exciting car chase without killing people. So they don't have to cut around anything. They can just have them
yeah, yeah,
chasing you.
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty good.
I enjoyed it. But Marino somehow has got some sort of TV control which makes all the traffic lights go green. I put, how? What?
I don't know, but
He's like,
I'd
hey,
want.
watch this, kid. What?
Yeah,
Whoa!
yeah. No, I'd want one. So Marino's played by Daniel von Bargen,
Okay.
who was also in Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and the Stephen King adaptation of Thinner, Amistad, and Broken Arrow.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I didn't. I mean, we'll get on to it when we talk about Robert John Burke. I remember Thinner being not too bad, but I remember it being a TV movie, and it could probably do with being made on a bigger budget. You know?
Yeah, I think I've rewatched it fairly the last few years, and I kind of it's a TV movie. It's like the Langoliers or something. It's like one of those Stephen King books they've made into a TV movie, and it's fine.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's got enough story to sustain itself. I don't know. Um,
yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Anyway, it's a little
Anyway,
bit thin.
yeah. Oh! Brilliant. Anyway, so the cops each crash their cars and the van gets away. But wait, another car has arrived. Could it be? Could it be? Yes, it's Robocop. And Nico is excited. Do you think it's him? Like,
What?
what?
It's not fucking Santa Claus. Also,
Yeah,
it's also when Maria's like, "This guy's making me nervous." Well, hey, he's just driving behind you. Like
yeah.
he's not aggressively driving behind you. He's just driving at a steady speed behind you. Oh
Yeah, it's not like in the first one when Alex Murphy was leaning out the window with his guns shooting at Clarence Bodigan's
no! He's just
van,
like,
is it? Just driving along. Yeah, some bloke is really pissed that his car's been smashed up by the cops, but I call this bloke not Kevin Bacon.
he's 80s yuppie, but for some reason it's the 90s. Why
Yeah,
is he here?
in his nice red car. Um, Lewis starts radioing for backup, and then we see some unsavories coming out the shadows who are the Splatpunks, and they're a renowned gang.
Oh, what the fuck? This is stupid. Also, you hear them coming. It sounds like the bloody gremlins are on the way. They're
Yeah.
like all this love, like, what the fuck? What are you doing,
They're in
idiots?
the game, the RoboCop Rogue Nation game, which is actually really good. So that's
Oh,
but
okay.
set in between two and three. But yeah, but they're clowns in this. They're absolute clowns. Yeah, they're not Kevin Bacon is shot dead by them. It's like, what the hell did he do? Like shoot the cops, fair. What did he do?
One shot, no blood,
Oh
not
no, there is
even in
blood.
the dick.
No, there is. Yeah, not even in the dick, but there is a little bit of blood. And then there's a shootout for the cops, and the punks start hurling Molotovs, and then RoboCop and the police car spins around and starts heading towards Lewis because they're friends.
Why does he punches the radio?
Oh, I've written that. Why? Because it's not
Why
even
does he
like later on
punch
when he
it?
later on that makes sense when he's really starting rebelling and he's had enough of OCP. Like Reed is making a very good point. No, you don't need to go there, Murphy. We've got enough backup. Please keep so bad. And just punches the fucking radio. Why? Destruction of police property.
Radios aren't free, mate.
Oh,
Radio.
great. And then the splatterpunks are closing in on the cops, and RoboCop starts to racing up the car park to the top level. Why? Why doesn't it? Why didn't he just take the same route that
Would
Lewis
have been
did and
quicker.
just
Would have been
arrive?
quicker. He'd have been there.
Yeah. No, he goes round and round and round, right up to the top of the car park. Then he changes his left arm for a gun. They've never explained in this why they've given him the enhancement. If he can detach his left arm, he can put a machine gun on it.
I can explain why.
Go on.
Selling toys.
Yeah, I had to wear that. I had to wear it.
Yeah,
He's detached
yeah.
the arm.
Selling
Yeah.
toys. Selling toys. That's all. That's the only reason. That's the only reason it's there.
Because the thing is, that gun that he's got in his leg is pretty badass, right? We've established that in the first two films. Why does he need a fucking submachine gun put onto his arm? It doesn't make
Also,
sense.
also, he's now got one less arm.
Yeah.
You can't. What are you gonna try and do? Open a fucking door with your gun arm?
Or when he runs out of bullets, just
Here, hold this for me. Well, you can't, can you, Robocop?
no.
You haven't thought this moving day through at all.
So the whole
Who's gonna
thing
help
is
me move this couch? Yeah, it's a gun, but that's not gonna help me.
no.
Selfish, selfish Robocop.
He is selfish prick. And then he drives off the edge of the car park, and the car just lands perfectly. Ding.
So shit. It's so
Why?
shit. It's
Oh, and
like
he
he
gets
really
better.
fucking hates the car. He's like, punch the radio and drive it off. Oh, this roof could do with some shooting.
Oh, and he gets better
It's the
because yeah,
door.
shoots off the roof. Why does he shoot out the roof? And then, yeah, 20 minutes into this film, and we finally see our hero in all of his glory. And like, great, we've had to sit through 20 minutes of
Sorry,
garbage just for this.
sorry, Laurie. Let's.
And then, yeah, bless
And what
Robert
is it he
John.
says when it was it
Police
says when he comes
officer, no loitering.
you know
Bless Robert
he's
John
not.
Burke. He's trying to do his best Peter Weller. It's like, it's not him. I'm
I've written
sorry.
this down. Peter Weller, he ain't like it's he's not helped by dialogue like no loitering, and he's not even. It's not even like Peter Weller's like no loitering. It's just like no loitering. It's
Yeah.
like, oh God.
And it sounds all robotic when they've used like synthesizer or whatever to try and change it. It just doesn't sound good. But yeah, is it because if they've got the same jaw and same mouth, right? So if you said before he speaks, "Oh, that's Peter Weller," you probably go, oh, "Okay, yeah, you probably got
No,
it."
I think he doesn't. I think he looks completely different. I think he
Really?
doesn't. I don't think he looks the same at all. I think it's very obvious that he doesn't have the kind of striking jawline and features that Peter Weller has. Like Peter Weller has a very distinctive face, a
Okay.
very distinctive face, and he's not that. And also it doesn't help that the helmet and the costume really doesn't look like it fits him. Like the helmet looks like there is a lot of gap between that helmet and his
Yeah.
head.
Well, save that as probably part of your trivia, don't Rob?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So then Robocop starts shooting the shit out of everything in sight, presumably killing a couple of people while the rest scarper. And then he goes, "You called for backup." And then Murphy goes, "No, not Murphy." Lewis goes, "Thanks for dropping by, Murphy." I'm like, "Oh no,
Uh,
you're better than this. You're better than this, Nancy Allen. You're better than this. Why are you doing this?"
money.
Well, yeah. Murphy starts scanning for remaining people and sees there's three, and then he catches a bullet. I'm like,
I mean, he
"What?"
ain't fast enough to catch a bullet. That's not Robocop's skill set.
They've
He could
never
stand in
established that in any of the other films that he
he
can
could
do that.
stand in front of a bullet
Yeah, could have just
and just be
bing.
like, yeah,
Yeah. But then he shoots a hero. Ah! He goes, "No, two." I was like, okay, that was kind of funny. Then two of the punks run off and they just start talking a load of mumbo jumbo. I'm like, what are
oh,
you
I've got
saying?
this splatterpunk dialogue is atrocious. It's awful. They've digitally altered their voices as well, which is just stupid. And they're just it's just yeah, spouting off absolute nonsense.
And they look awful. Like the punks in the first movie and even the second one to an extent look kind of cool. These just look like they're going to a fancy dress party or something. They look so stupid. And then one of them says like, "Oh yeah, shoot him in the mouth, shoot him in the mouth."
They're, yeah, like no one's ever tried that. Shoot him in the mouth. What do you think that's gonna fucking do?
Or just chip his tooth or something.
It's not gonna kill him. Like even if it is all flesh under there, which it probably isn't, it's not gonna kill him if you shoot him in the mouth.
Yeah. Well, they've got a flare gun, so I think that's what they were trying to aim for. But yeah, Robocop then approaches. They douse a model of Robocop in flammable liquid and set the model on fire with a flare gun. And Robocop just standing there letting all of this happen.
I've written stands there like a dick while they set him on fire. Why doesn't he shoot them in the dick? He doesn't
Oh,
shoot anyone in the dick.
he doesn't. There's not a single dick shot in this. And then he just on fire starts walking because they go into a building. The window smashes, and then several moments later he walks through the window.
It's not the first time he does that either.
No, it's funnier later. It's much funnier later. But this is like, oh my god! And then he's like, the sprinklers put him out. He's like, "Nice try, creeps. You have the right to remain silent." I've got other rights as well. But
Just shoot the
oh,
fuck out of them. You have shot
that's the
them in
thing.
number one.
He
Just shoot
picks
them.
it. What? He shot those people when he got out of the car, but these two people have just set him on fire. He arrests them. I'm like, why'd you pick and choose?
Also, if shooting him in the mouth would kill him, why doesn't setting him on fire burn his skin?
Yeah, because he just goes a bit sooty,
Black.
doesn't he? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So just get a
Like he's been
just wipe that.
cleaning the chimney.
You've got a little bit of something. Let me just get that for you. There we go.
Yeah.
Let me lick this hanky.
Oh, I used to hate my mum did that. Ugh. Right.
No.
Then we cut to rehab soldiers as Robo and Lewis are driving by, and they see that people are being evicted, and that makes Robo start recording this for some reason. I'm like, why are you recording this? And then Lewis almost runs over Nico and then runs into a church where Bertha and everyone is. And then again, he starts filming this again and it pans up to see Jesus on a cross. Oh, that's a church. No.
No, that big church-like building. Also, watching the little girl and recording. You know what I'm
Nonce.
getting? Nonce vibes.
Yeah, it's weird. And then later on, I suppose you're made to believe it reminds him of his son Jimmy. I was like, why? How? She's a girl? Like, what?
Any child reminds him of his son. So he's useless if a child
Oh,
is around.
yeah, because that happens in the second one when he sees Hob. That reminds him of his son Jimmy as well and stuff. Right. And then, yeah, we cut to angry Japanese man Kanemitsu, and he's talking to the new COO of OCP, Rip Torn. I've written, I don't know what his name was. Looked up, oh no, he's just called CEO. Rip Torn doesn't get a name. It's a bit like the old man from one
Yeah.
and two. I presume old man.
Kanemitsu, I looked at this, I was looking, when I was looking at the cast of this film, the guy who plays Kanemitsu was nominated for an Oscar in the 60s.
Damn.
I know. How the
How?
mighty have fallen.
Yeah, quite right. Yeah, I can only assume Dan O'Herlihy, who played the old man, was either way too old or dead by the time
No,
this film comes.
I see. I thought that. I thought he was dead, but he wasn't. He didn't die till the 2000s.
Interesting. Maybe either didn't want to be in
I
it, or
just,
they
I
just
just
thought,
imagine he was like bollocks to that.
yeah, this film's trash.
Let me read the script. New thing, you
Yeah, no. Uh, yeah. So they're talking to the COO of OCP, which is Rip Torn, and a ball full of OCP people, including Jeff Fleck and Johnson. Was like, yay, Johnson! Johnson's back. Was it delight?
Johnson. Yeah, Johnson, the police chief, and Lewis. They are the consistent people across these movies.
And Murphy's wife, who's always in flashback.
Ah, yeah. Is that the same footage?
Yeah, no, it's
No.
different footage every time. Although in
Oh,
the second one, she's actually in it because she comes to the police station to see him. That's when he tells her to fuck off, which is really cold. And then that plot line goes nowhere. I'm like, oh, okay,
no. Hmm.
right.
One
So
of the OCP people there is played by Bradley Whitford.
is that Fleck?
Yeah, Get Out, Cabin in the Woods, and The West Wing.
I thought he had a familiar face. There
Yeah,
you go.
he was the dad in Get Out.
Yeah, okay.
He was in Godzilla King of the Monsters,
I've tried to forget that film.
as was CCH Pounder.
Pounder.
Pound.
Pounder was in loads of shit around about this time because I
Yeah, yeah,
recognised
yeah.
every time I saw it, I thought, oh, that's her from that, from that, from that, from that, from that. So there you go. Right, well then what happens? Yeah, so Kanemitsu's not happy with the CEO, and OCP are not pushing ahead with the Delta City construction, and then they're talking about cutbacks they'll need to make because Detroit is becoming a war zone. Fucking hell, it's all stop overacting. Johnson assures him it's just a small resistance. The CRO reminds them of how much debt they're in. I'm like, hang on a minute, what? What's this got? Because they explored this a bit in the second one about how OCP was in massive amounts of debt. But what's that got to do with the Japanese company and the uh, demolishing Cadillac Heights?
one would imagine that the Japanese company are investing in OCP or some sort of merger or takeover, sort of corporate merger,
Yeah,
and they are going to provide them with the additional funding to complete the Cadillac Delta City
right.
project, which will then be able to sell the housing units, which will then correct
Got it.
the balance sheet of
Got it.
OCP, I would imagine.
Cool. And probably the reason why they're in so much fucking debt is because of Robocop and how much, because you think about how much it must cost to fund him, right? All the power and the technology and the armor, everything, right? So because of that, CO wants Fleck to investigate what's going on. And what are you laughing at?
I just enjoying the fact that Robocop is in the cost section of the annual report.
Yeah.
So if you see here, we've got our facilities cost, the real estate cost, we've got employment cost there, obviously. We've got facilities, there's Robocop. We've got
And also, it's flawed anyway, because the whole point of Robocop was eventually they're going to replace the cops with a bunch of Robocops. Yep. But they don't. It's almost like, oh, we've got him and he's just like a regular police officer
well, then
now.
they cover that in the second one.
Yeah, because it takes a strong mind, doesn't it, to make
Yeah, they
someone
can't
like
do
him.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Because ideally, yeah, they'd have an army full of them, wouldn't they? There you go. Right, so then Madaga comes to see the CEO and tells him, I don't want a robot on my team. And
Why does
then
he hate him?
he
He
hates
hates him for
Robocop.
no reason. He just is, I don't like this robot. Is that why?
I'd imagine because Robocop plays by the rules and McDaggett doesn't.
Oh,
So,
yeah, maybe.
yeah. And then the CEO reminds them they've got 4 days to get Cadillac Heights clear for demolition. Otherwise, the loans will be called in and OCP will be ruined. And then he says, McDaggett, we made a deal, didn't we, chum? If you're just figuring out the line between big business and war is a little blurry, then you're forever the hell did they say? I was the CEO, I was like, you're fucking fired. Get out.
Yeah, get the fuck out of my company, you prick. Also, he's a CEO of a major multinational company. He's not made that mistake. What are you talking about?
Yeah, weird. Cut to Kanemitsu World Headquarters in Japan. An assistant to Kanemitsu warns that Otomo has never been deployed in such a populated area, but Kanemitsu wants no more discussion. And then we meet Otomo, who's meditating for some reason, just wearing a pair of pants, holding a samurai sword, and this man is built like a brick shithouse.
I have absolutely no idea what the samurai bullshit is about. Like, no,
What?
all the way through the film, I'm like, what is this? Why is this in this film?
Yeah, even as a kid, I was like, what? So he's a cyborg as well, but he's more like the Terminator than he is Robocop. And the Kanemitsu company have built this because
I assume,
why?
I assume he's just a robot. I assume he's not a person at all. I assume he's not like Robot. I assume he's just an android.
An
But
android,
I
yeah.
assume he's because they've got three of them. So I assume.
Spoiler alert, Smith.
Well, sorry, but like
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I assume he's just a robot.
But why did the Kanemitsu company need it? Like Robocop was
I don't
created because
know,
they
Joe.
had a crime problem, a serious crime problem. Why was Otomo created?
Corporate espionage,
It, none of this makes
assassination.
sense.
None of it makes sense. This is because, and this is the problem with this film, and it's already starting to come into it now. There isn't any plot,
Mm.
and they are constantly just thinking of things to happen to drag the story along because it's just like, we've already said they're chucking people out of Cadillac Heights. There's a resistance. The CEO's being over there. That's it. That's all there is, and that's not very interesting. RoboCop
Well,
himself doesn't have any plot.
no, he's hardly
Ex-
in this film when you really think
except
about it.
except for the whole am I Murphy, am I RoboCop, which we're doing for the third fucking film in a row. We
No, I don't think
resolved
he does
this.
that in this. I don't think there's any of that. There's no
He
character
does it.
development.
He does it a little bit. Like there's a bit where he's like, I don't have
Oh,
many
the memories bit. Yeah, yeah.
friends, and it's like, yeah, no, we've done this. We've done this. We've done this for the last two fucking films. We resolved this in the first one. He's Murphy. It's the end of the first film. It's the final line of the first film, and it's brilliant. And it brings the character full circle, and it's completely earned. And then you just go, yeah, but he has to keep doing that thing because otherwise we don't have anything from him.
Yeah, and also I always got the feeling at the end of RoboCop 1, he's become a human again. He's got all of his memories back. He's talking like a human. He's thinking like a human. Obviously with a little bit more roboticness, but he's not as like corporate as he was in the start. But then you get to RoboCop 2 and he's back to being like, hello, again, like that. And I'm like, that's not the sense I got in the first film. And yeah,
No.
by the third film, it's some other bullshit. And also, when you really think about it, yeah, that character arc is completely resolved by the end of part one. Why do you need sequels? You don't.
Well, this is it. There's an interview I was doing sort of in the trivia bit, but there's a bit of Fred Decker's like, oh, part of the problem was they'd resolved his arc in the first film. It's like, yes, they did. You didn't need to make any more films. There is no need for any of these sequels. I know, obviously, that's the only reason anyone ever makes sequels. RoboCop is a perfect standalone film.
It's a perfect film. I love it.
Two is fine if you want a bit more of that, and it's got some good actors in it. But by the time you get to three, what are you fucking doing?
The thing is, at least for three, there's an easier to digest plot. You get it. All right, they're being turfed out of their homes. They're fighting back. That's three. In two, there's so much shit going on. There's that plot. There's that plot. There's that plot. And they're just throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And then there's a lot of stuff that doesn't go anywhere, like Murphy's wife, or they're creating RoboCop 2. But then there's a bit of a power struggle with Johnson and that woman. And it's just like, what is going on?
But I think with
It's,
this, the problem is there's less. If two had too much, three doesn't have enough.
right.
There's not enough, so they keep having to come up with new stuff. But they come up with it, and I'll get to this later. There are bits where they just come up with something and resolve it in the same scene. And it's oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah, okay, it's gone.
So back to the police precinct, and some lawyers arguing with Reed about some sex stuff that's going on with his cross-dressing client. I've put, is that Tracy Morgan?
It's not Tracy Morgan.
It really looks like Tracy Morgan.
No, it's not. I don't think it is.
Oh, well, I don't know who it was. I tried IMDb in the dude, but I've no idea who it is. Reed wants someone to answer the damn phone, and then he answers it himself, which is weird. And then he assures them that they're not on strike. I'm like, yeah, I always like that about the first one. I don't want to talk about strike. We're not plumbers. Right, Fleck arrives, and Lewis seems distrusting all of a sudden. I was like, why? What's it?
Because he's
What?
wearing a suit.
Damn it, he's one of those OCP bastards. And then
Who we
Robocop is
work for.
yeah. And then Robocop's unmasked. So this is something they explored in the second one. It's like whenever they want to evaluate him and stuff, and you get it in the computer game as well, they always take his mask off like that.
Yeah.
Whereas in the first one, you don't see his mask till right at the end, mainly because the mask has been shot to shit and he's fed up of being a robot. He wants to go back to being a human again. So yeah. So yeah, then we see him unmasked and you can see that's not Peter Weller, that's Robert John Burke.
Like
Yeah,
anyone knows what the fuck Robert John Burke looks like.
yeah. And he still looks very burnt after what happened with those punks. And he's being attended to by Dr. Lazarus. No,
So
we've
I read
talked.
somewhere that burning his face was sort of one of the ways that they were trying to explain why he doesn't look the same anymore.
Oh, really? Is that what it
Yeah,
is?
yeah, but that I think that might be spurious.
Yeah, and also, let's just go back to what we talked about earlier on. If they really had burnt him, he would have like second or third degree burns on his face. He would just be a bit
Yeah,
sooty, and then they'll just, yeah, like you said, just clean it off. And then, like a couple of scenes later, he looks absolutely fine again. It's like, that's stupid.
yeah,
Yeah. Um, yeah, so then Fleck barges his way in and starts being a real arsehole to Lazarus. Like some of the language he uses towards her is really sexually aggressive. Like this guy's a
yeah.
piece of shit. Even back then, was like, kind of thought, why is he such an arsehole? Um, yeah, and then Robocop defied a direct order, and Fleck wants to know why. And I thought, how did the news that Robocop defied an order from Reed make its way back to OCP and Fleck? Because Reed doesn't fucking like OCP. Why would he
Yeah,
tell
but if
anyone
OCP owns
this?
the cops and OCP does own the cops, they would I assume they're monitoring them.
Right.
Also, just a quick one, Dr. Lazarus, that's pretty on the fucking nose.
Yeah. Later on, they
That's
start
like,
calling her Marie Lazarus. But
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Lazarus, come on.
Lazy
Also, this is the
scriptwriting.
bit where her and Fleck are arguing. She goes, nobody owns me. And it's like, yes, they do. It's called a job.
Oh yeah.
You have a
And
job. You
O-
work for these people. You have to do what they tell you to. That's how
and
fucking
OC,
having a job works.
yeah. And OCP owns the cops.
Yeah.
There
And
you
you don't
go.
even work for the cops. You work for OCP directly.
Yeah. That's true, actually. So they quite literally own her.
Yeah. It's her fucking job. Do as you're told.
Yeah. And then Lazarus explains that Robocop disobeyed an order as he didn't agree with it and he made a judgment call. And I'm like, that's always the argument about self-driving cars and that sort of thing.
Mm,
Because when they get to a situation with, well, it's either that or that. But obviously, Robocop or Murphy's humanity's played in, and he made a judgment call to go and help his friend instead.
yeah.
And then Fleck is angry about this, says that he's a machine who should obey orders and he wants his motions removed. And out of nowhere, some scientist pulls a very convenient component from his lab coat pocket and says, "Oh, this will do the trick. A micro neuro barrier." What?
I had it knocking around. I thought it'd just be like, we'll just put a drill in the side of his head. That should probably do it. We just, but the thing is, if it's, this is where this bit where it doesn't make any sense. Like, if they can do that, and this kind of doesn't make sense in the second one, then are all of his memories as Murphy just programmed
I
into
was,
his hard? Like, is there a brain in there?
yeah. They say that in the second one. They say he's got. I hear he's got a brain. I want to see it like that. But I think it's his soul like that. Like, yeah, all right, they might have wiped his brain and whatever, but the soul still lives and his humanity fights through. That's the way I, well, especially the first movie. That's the way I
Yeah,
always
okay.
saw it as.
That's not
So,
really how things work, but all right.
no, but we'll come to a bit because yeah, there is some bullshit in a minute with the memories. But yeah, Fleck wants this implemented and because they want RoboCop on the rehab team, even though McDaggett doesn't. And then Fleck tells Lazarus they own Lazarus his cute little ass, and yeah, it's all deeply, deeply uncomfortable. I don't like it. Yeah, and then Murphy starts having flashbacks to the recording of the evictions of like with Nico and all the chaos
Yeah,
going
yeah, yeah.
on. But then he starts getting flashbacks of his family, and all of that is being shown on the monitors. I'm like, no, hang on a minute. I always thought in the other two films that was him and us, the audience, who can see that. It's not
Yeah,
on the monitors. The OCP staff can see that he's got all these fucking weird memories. I'm like, so
yeah,
where
yeah,
did this
yeah.
come from? Yeah. And again, why does this kid remind him of why does Nico remind him of his son Jimmy? He doesn't make any sense. Um, Reed's giving a talk to the cops about the resistance and to be wary, and then one of the cops tells Lewis that Robo had his memories taken away. How does this cop know
But also, he
this?
does that. He says, "Hey, did you hear what they did to Murphy? Absolutely nothing. They did absolutely nothing to Murphy." And this is again, it's another. It's the first example of this film putting something in to immediately do nothing with it.
Yeah,
It's like immediately they're like, "Oh, we're going to wipe his memories." No, we're not.
no.
It's like immediately, let's just resolve that, shall we?
Because we could have had a good 20 minutes of that, and then him
Yeah,
being on the rehab team, fucking murdering people, and then his humanity fights back through, and he's like, well, why am I
yeah.
doing this? That we could have had something
No,
like that. No, 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 no.
this film is on rails. It is on rails. It is going from A to B to C, and it is not going to do anything different. And anytime it suggests it might do, it doesn't.
No, no, no. So Robo walks into that room, sees the church on the TV, gets a flashback to that recording, and off he goes. Uses that cool spike thing, which we don't see in the second one, but it's back on this one, to access the police computer for suspects. I'm like, let's come back later. It actually does.
It does.
Because at this moment in time, you're like, why has he done that? But you find out later. Robo makes his way to his car, and someone asks Lewis if she wants her body armor, and
Yeah, I
she
wrote
declines,
that down.
"No, I'm off duty." I'm like, then why is she hanging around the police station wearing a uniform? Why?
Hey, Lewis, you want your body armor? No. I wonder what's going to happen.
I can only assume she's finished for the day, was going home, or she just doesn't have much going on in her life. She just likes hanging around that police station. What? And then she thinks Robocop's acting all weird. She calls him Robo, and he replies, "Call me Murphy." And I'm like, "Oh, so Lazarus didn't use that thingy."
Yeah, but
But
again, within about
no!
30 seconds.
Wait, just in case you didn't understand that point, we have to get a scene of her smashing it with a hammer. Oh, okay,
Why
great.
does she do that? They've definitely got more than one. Like, what?
Yeah, yeah. Or they could just easily build another one.
Yeah, why is she smashing it with a hammer? She's just being fucking dramatic.
And that's a really
Also,
weird looking
it's
hammer.
not
It's a child's
yours.
toy.
Also, not yours. It's that other guy's. Don't
Yeah.
be smashing the other guy's thing.
Did you install that thing?
Hey,
Yes.
I didn't smash it with a hammer.
This child's hammer. Uh, yeah. Lewis and Robocop arrive at the church and enter, and people are squatted inside. Robocop pulls out his gun for some reason, starts pointing it at them all. And then
It's
outside,
he can't. He does not move like Peter Weller.
he's
Like
trying. Because he was
he
a
he
mime
just
artist, wasn't he, Robert John Burke?
yeah, but the way he's always got his arm out to the side for some reason.
Mm,
He walks really weird, and again, we'll come back to it. But the suit doesn't fit.
no.
It's all over the. He looks good. He's got really big hips.
Yeah.
He just looks like he's got a fat ass, and he's like holding his hand there in a sassy way, like, "Hello, I'm Robocop."
Robocop let
Yes,
himself go. All that
yeah,
baby
right.
food he was eating.
Yum yum yum. This is high in calorie. Yum yum yum.
And that's something that always pissed me off about those films. You never actually see him eating the baby food. Like they tell you in the first
Is
one
that
that's
what
what
you
he
want?
does.
Is that what you like?
But how does he just get like handfuls of baby food?
I assume his finger opens and a little spoon comes out. He goes, "Yum, yum."
or do they chew feed? They just never explain that you eat. Actually, it's not baby food. Johnson eats what is his shit, I think. And he goes, "Oh, it tastes like baby food." I don't know. That bit's never really explained. Um, Then outside, McDaggett and his team have arrived, and McDaggett tells Lewis and Robocop to fuck off as the squatters are inside and they need to go to a rehab center. And then Robocop recalls all these directives. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Didn't these get erased in the second one? There's that bit when he was talking nonsense, so he just electrocutes himself, and literally every directive goes. So
Yeah,
Robocop 2 goes rogue. He's like, right, I can do whatever I want now. So presumably they've just put them all back in again.
yeah. Never oppose an OCP officer back in there for reasons. Just put that back in,
Yeah,
even
because that
though
was
it's
Dick
it's
Jones
what
put that in the first one. Why would they put that back in?
yeah, it was clearly there to be abused. So OCP officers could get away with doing any old shit. Although I guess OCP are evil.
They are very,
That's an
very evil.
interesting question about the first RoboCop. Who? Because in this one it's quite obvious, but in the first one, who's the villain? Who's the main villain in the
Dick
first one?
Jones. Oh, you think it's Clarence Boddinger, but really it's Dick Jones.
Yeah,
But you could even
yeah.
argue the old man is a shit. Even Bob
Well, that's
Morton's
it.
shit. You know?
Everyone's a shit in that film, so they are
Yeah.
all villains in their own way. It's interesting. I was watching the. I don't know if you've seen the making of RoboCop
Oh
documentary
yes.
that's on Amazon. Yeah, I was watching that the other
Fantastic.
day,
Yeah.
and it's got Ray Wise who's in it, and he's like, "I'm the second villain in RoboCop." Like, no, you're not.
Nah,
You're
mate.
not even. You're not even the third villain in RoboCop. You're just
You're
one of them.
you're but a henchman.
Yeah. Don't you try and increase your. Emil was the second henchman.
Yeah. Yeah, and he melted. That was cool. Um, yeah, so then he recalls the fourth directive, which was the previously classified one that he can't oppose an OCP officer, i.e. McDaggett. So Robocop just shoots the ground at the soldiers instead and
They
tells
just.
them,
They all just stand there like, all right,
oh, yeah, all right.
all right.
He's like, back off, you're making a mistake, or there will be trouble. I'm like, oh, you're rehashing shit from the first one. Okay, that's fine. And then Lewis says the stupidest thing. She says, yeah, you're gonna have to shoot through us. And McDaggett goes, I don't have a huge problem with that. And just shoots up. Not even with a gun, he machine guns her down. I was like, oh fuck. Hit her like
And
6 times.
her being shot acting is fucking hilarious.
It is good. Later on, oh no, I won't spoil it. Later on, there's a hilarious death as well. And then there's a big shootout, but Robocop can't shoot anyone because they're OCP, so he just shoots the van, which blows up. I'm like, what? Why did that van blow up?
That could also kill several people if you blow a van up.
Reckless. And McDaggett fires a grenade at Robocop, which sends him flying back to the church. At this point, Nico pops her head out, like, oh, Robocop. And then Bertha starts throwing smoke grenades at him, and then the rebels cover him. As then Robo suddenly he's fine because he's carrying Lewis to the church. She dies at the altar.
Really heavy on the symbolism when he's carrying her up to the altar. Oh God.
Oh, and she's like, Get them for me, Murphy.
Promise me. Get them for me. Promise me.
I
So,
promise.
oh, it's so
Officer
shit.
down.
She deserved better than that. She deserved
So
better
much
than that.
better. I love Nancy Allen. She's great in a lot of stuff. Not in this. Not in this.
I say, whenever you close up on Robert John Burke's mouth, he
Yeah.
looks like he's smirking. He always is like, he looks like he's very happy about something. It's
Yeah.
not a good RoboCop.
He's passable.
He's not. He's shit.
I
It's the
don't know.
voice. It's too soft. Doesn't sound right.
They could have dubbed over the voice, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't mind him. He's not the shittest thing in this film by far. Um, and then the rebels, for some reason, decide to go to a hidey place, which is under the altar. And I'm like, why weren't they just in there in the first place? Why were they squatting in that church if they've got a much better hidey place
Yeah,
underground?
it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, Koontz doesn't want Robo coming with them, but Bertha insists, so Robo follows. And then the rehab team bursts in to find everyone has gone. Like, let's go find a manhole. Hang on. It's quite obvious they disappeared from this church. Why don't you just search the church and find how they
Yeah,
disappeared there?
yeah. They didn't just disappear out of fucking thin air. Follow them.
God dang it. And then underground, the rebels go to their secret lair. And then after seeing one or two rats, Robocop collapses at 25% efficiency. Well, he went down to 25 pretty quick. Like,
Yeah.
he was like 80 a minute ago.
Well, it's because he's older now, and you know what things are like with batteries. The more you
That's
use them,
it.
the less use they've got.
Do you
He's
know
going to be
what?
like an old phone that you forget to plug in, and he's just fucking wake up in the morning. It's like 8%. You're like, oh, brilliant. Can't use Robocop today. Should have plugged him in overnight.
Do you know what though? That is the RoboCop film I'm waiting for. Like because that begs the question.
What
No, no, no,
the one you've done like 5%? He's like,
no. An old RoboCop. Does he age? Does it get to the point where the human part of him is so old and decrepit it just doesn't work anymore? So if they ever did a sequel, and I'd hope they bring Peter Weller back so he looks old as shit,
talking
it's just
like
an old
fucking
RoboCop.
Robocop with Alzheimer's.
Not,
Dead or
not
alive,
outside.
dead or alive. You're coming with them. Uh, where am I?
If you like. No, I just think there's something for that to explore what happens when this old age, bit like Logan, like Wolverine's
Oh,
reached the
yeah.
point now where he can't regenerate anymore or something like that. That's
Hmm.
if they ever did one and managed to get Peter Weller back, that's the RoboCop film I'd want to see. Yeah, he collapses. Coons and Zack carry a model of RoboCop with relative ease into the lair.
So how are they lifting? How are they lifting him? How are they lifting the man that's made of metal? He's like a fucking car.
Oh, yeah, because in the second one, it takes about 8 of them to lift him with coats or whatever. These two blokes are like, no, 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 just carry him. Robo starts going on about tracking, so naturally Bertha asks Nico, what does he mean, Nico? Why would Nico know this?
Nico's a child.
But she does know this because she pulls out his tracking device and gives
How
it
does
to.
she know where it is? If she knows, everyone knows. If everyone knows, anyone could fucking decommission him and nick him, reprogram him, and get. Oh,
I know, it's infuriating. And then he gives it to Marino, who conveniently has already booby trapped a manhole and throws the tracking device underneath it, which blows up when a rehab member opens it. What?
and then the rehab members all just give up and go home. They
Yeah, they
stop
don't.
looking.
Oh, all
They're
right
like,
then.
oh,
Fair enough.
we should probably go down that manhole that blew up, seeing it's already blown up. So it's probably only booby trap one. So it's probably safe. Probably just go down there. They're probably down
Fools.
there.
Um, and then
They can't have got far. They're on foot.
yeah, they seem to just give up very quickly. And then
They do.
I came to this assumption like, does the rehab team just think RoboCop's dead because he did just take a massive grenade to the chest?
Oh,
Is
did
he
they think
dead?
that that was Robocop blowing up at conveniently the same
Uh,
time when that guy opened the manhole?
yeah,
Well, poor timing, Jimmy.
yeah.
Now
Sorry,
you
Jimmy.
mince.
Then Coot starts having a meltdown for some reason, and he goes, "No, it's worth the shit." I'm like, "What?" And then Bertha
It
just
that
tells him to
comes
calm
out of
down.
nowhere.
Yeah, that's all resolved very quickly.
Yeah, it comes. It does calm down.
Yep. Fleck calls Lazarus at her home and starts being a real sleaze again, and we learn that OCP has fabricated some footage and a news story that Robocop has murdered Lewis and he's joined the rebel force. I'm like, oh, okay, because McDowell's like, oh, it's a terrible tragedy, terrible, terrible. And then Fleck tells Lazarus to come to OCP tomorrow. She's essentially fired. And does he say something like, bring your legendary arse along? For God's sake, Fleck, stop it.
It's all right. He'll be dead in a minute.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Back some of this shit is hilarious that's coming up. Back at OCP headquarters, Johnson and Fleck are discussing Robocop, and OCP headquarters is just in utter chaos. There's just people running around like in complete disarray. And then some bloke is in his office on a video call to his wife, and he throws himself out the window. And I'm not an advocate for suicide, but that bit is fucking hilarious, especially when it comes down to just ah! He just hits the ground. It's so
I hope you're not an
good.
advocate for suicide. Suicide, try it.
No, I mean, in Scary Movie, it's really poor taste when that happens. I'm like, no. But I don't know why I just found this so funny. It's not that bad. This happens to companies all the time. He just dives out the window. It's like he's trying to fly. Um, Otomo's arrived at OCP wearing such glasses and smoking for some reason.
You know he's a robot at this point because he keeps whenever he turns his head, he goes, psst,
Yeah,
psst.
yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, we
Why is
saw
he
that earlier.
smoking?
Oh,
He's a fucking
and wearing
robot.
shades. Yeah. Someone tells Fleck and Johnson that someone just threw themselves out the window, and Johnson goes, "That's the fourth one this month." And then Fleck goes, "Chicken shit." He's like, "I'd eat a bullet as it's less showy," and he shows that he's got a gun. I was like, "Oh, all
Yeah,
right,
but this is
okay,
like, again, it's doing it again. It's setting something up that it's going to pay off immediately. It
yeah."
doesn't bother setting stuff up like a couple of scenes ago that we can then do later. No, we'll just do it all now. It's all fine.
And I quite, as much of a shit, I liked Fleck as a character. Like, oh, he's gone. All
Well, you
right,
got
okay.
Bradley Whitford. You use Bradley Whitford.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
barely in this, and it's like, okay.
yeah. He's a
Probably
complete
roughly the same
sleaze.
time he was doing is it Billy Madison that he's the bad guy in.
Oh, I haven't seen Billy Madison. I know I should, but I haven't. But yeah, you could be right. As Fleck and Johnson are entering the CEO office, Fleck starts bad mouthing the Japanese corporation, and then Otomo's standing there. And the CEO's like, "Shut up!" like that. And then he tells Otomo that there's a warrant for Robocop and to eliminate the squatters. And I put, why is Otomo smoking? Why? Why do robots need to smoke? Well, you can argue why did Sean Young smoke in Blade Runner,
Well,
which
yeah, but that's different because they're trying to be human. This,
yeah, yeah, okay.
I wonder if this is that you're not supposed to know he's a robot at this point.
Yeah, but we said
Yeah, I know.
yeah,
I don't understand what the samurai shit is about.
it's so
Why is he in
weird.
it?
And it's not even good. It's not even real good martial arts stuff. It's just crap. It's just a load of
No,
backflips. Yeah.
that's all martial arts is, Stu.
Yeah, it's
Bunch of
backflips and
backflips.
lightly hitting someone with his samurai sword in the face. That's all he does. Yeah.
Oh.
Which seems to really hurt Robocop. Anyway, that's much later. The COO then fires Fleck for being useless, and as Fleck goes outside, we hear a sound. Well, that's Fleck dead. And then Johnson suggests using the OCP cops to be part of the rehab team. Like, well, yeah, I don't know why you didn't just do that in the first place. Right, at the Rebel base, which has two Christmas trees, not one, two. So
Okay,
this is a
all right.
Christmas film. This is a
I did
Christmas film.
not notice any of these Christmas trees.
Yeah, there's one in Nico's home,
I
there's
was
two
not
there,
paying attention.
and there's one in the precinct. So there, spot the Christmas tree.
Uh,
It's got hammocks, everyone's chilling. This looks like a kind of cool little base. Quite like this. Some people have got like computers and shit. They're just like doing work. I'm like, is this a library they're in or something? Like, what?
just an office.
Yeah, rented
Well,
an
it's nice if
office.
that's how you want to live your life, but
Yeah, yeah, not me. Robocop's being attended to by Marino, but he's only a mechanic, so he can't fix it. I was like, yeah, how is a mechanic gonna fix a cyborg?
I can fix a Fiat Uno, no problem. Robocop, no.
No, bit challenging. Robocop asks for Lazarus's help, so Nico goes to see her at the police station and immediately convinces her to come in.
Just wondering about the police station, just wondering about
I
going wherever
guess
go wherever the fuck she feels like.
I guess they did that because if one of the rebels came in, they'd arrest them. Whereas Nico, they're just like, oh, just some kid, so it's fine.
Yeah, but you wouldn't just let a kid wander into the fucking police station. Like she's come
Why?
in and then
She
she
might
just
be reporting a crime. Oh no, she's immediately walked into the highly.
she's walked into the fucking lab. Well, you just there off you
Yeah,
go. Go
yeah,
in the
fair
evidence
enough.
locker while you're here.
Yeah, take a gun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's some coke in there. It's good for kids.
Yes, have a good time.
Helps you with helps you with
Yeah.
your homework. Yeah.
Oh, then Otomo meets with some people underground. I thought, who are these people? Are they rebels or are people who are potentially going to sell out? Like, it's not
I think
quite.
they're the rebels, and he's gone to look for the rebels, and they've been guarding that place
Oh,
to stop
okay.
people looking.
Okay, fine. So Otomo kills them all doing backflips, and then during which
I still don't know what I've written. I still don't know what the samurai has to do with anything.
no, because he just takes a gun and shoots him. I was like, right. But then he gets bashed in the face with a pipe and that dislodges his face and he just flicks it back in. And I'm like, that was actually kind of cool. Was that a model when they did that, or was that a
Must have
mask, or
been,
what it
yeah.
was? But yeah, it looked kind of cool. And then one of these men has a very convenient red line diagram on a transparent material in his
Yeah.
pocket. Why?
I don't know. Luckily, he had a map on him. Is it so
Stick
he
it
can
out of his
find?
pocket, his front
Is it
pocket.
is it so he can find his way back to the rebel base? But then surely one of the other three men will also then have a map that you could put it on top of. So I don't know.
No, they were trusting him. I'm supposed to guard the bee. Oh, why? Why does he have this? And then the dead bodies on the floor transition into dominoes for some reason. The base. And then Robo detects a vehicle approaching, and it's Lazarus in a police van with Nico and a load of Robocop equipment. I was like, no wonder she needed that van. Like, do you see how much shit was in that lab earlier on? And you're just going to hook all this up underground in a sewer? What?
Stick it all in a van and drive off with it.
Yeah, no one's going to notice she's nicked the van and nicked all the Robocop shit. Although the cops,
I've moved house. That's a 12-hour job.
yeah, she's just had Nico with her. That's it. Then what? Lazarus says he's had a direct hit to the heart, but Lazarus will fix him. And then we get shots of everyone trying to fix him. It's reminiscent of what happens
It's
in the
yeah.
first film when they're building
POV people
Robocop.
work on RoboCop, seeing that you have to have in a RoboCop film, where people are
Yeah,
looking at him like, oh,
yeah. And then he goes, I got that heart you wanted. So at first I started to write, what? And I was like, oh, hang on a minute.
it's like a
Wasn't it that
fake.
bit in the first one where they, on the media break, you saw that you could buy a fake heart? That's right at the start of the film. And I'm like, is that what they've done?
Maybe, but I don't think it's a real heart. I don't think it's like a
No, it's
human
not a
heart. I
real
think it's
heart.
a
No. It's an artificial heart. That in the first one, there's like, oh, is your heart not great anymore? You can have a fake one. Blah 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 blah. And it looks very similar. So I think is that what they're trying to do? Because
maybe,
otherwise,
maybe.
what do you mean you've got him the new
It's been a
heart that he
fair while.
wanted?
It's been a fair
Yeah,
while since I've seen the first one, so
yeah. I know all of those movies like the back of my hand.
bet you do.
Right, and then we see that RoboCop's prime directives are back, but number four has been erased. Oh!
By someone.
By someone. Did he just go, hey, Lazarus, take directive four out?
Yeah, good.
Okay, right, delete.
I'm really going to want to shoot that McDaggett guy.
Yeah. And then we get a really weird shot. It's very Lawnmower Man-esque of going down a tunnel, and there's all the
Yeah,
archive footage of like the first film, and all the women in RoboCop's life flash up topless, and then they all just start morphing into each other. I was like, what is
yeah.
this?
I put that, and then Lewis smurfs into Lazarus because reasons I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why they haven't got any tops on. Is he secretly a perv? Is he like, when I close my eyes, I see you all naked?
Oh,
Nothing's moving. Yes, it is.
Robo Dick. RoboCop's back and he's healthy again. Nico comes in to talk to him. That's quite a nice scene that these two have. She's
No,
like,
it's
"Oh,
not because she's fucking terrible, and I don't like having kids like this in a film where they're like having a nice little chat. Fuck off, he's RoboCop. Why isn't he shooting a man in the dick at this point? Why is he talking to a child?
he's not going to shoot her in the dick, is he?" So he just,
There's plenty of men. There's
I
plenty of men
know,
he could have shot in the dick in this film, and it doesn't happen.
I
It
know.
doesn't happen once.
I didn't mind this scene. I thought it was all right. But yeah, we get the obligatory flashback shot of Clarence Boddick. I was like, oh, I could be watching that film.
Yeah, don't. I had this like flashback to better first film. Don't do it. Don't do it because you just
No,
remind me of how shit this is in comparison to the film that was really fucking good. I
yeah.
hate it when films do that. Like, remember? Yeah, I remember. And you're watching this bollocks.
They even do it in the TV series that it flashes back to Clarence Boddicker and everyone shooting it, except you don't see it, you just see it from their point of view.
Do you
Or no,
reckon
or
Kurt?
Robocop's bothered.
Do you reckon
Go on.
Kurtwood Smith gets royalties
Yeah, it's
for the
archive
two
footage.
seconds for the 2 seconds he's in it?
I think so.
He should.
Uh, yeah, he should. Yeah, we learned during all this that Nico's parents are dead because that's what he was looking at. Oh God, that made me jump a bit. You doing that one? Smith just showed Clarence Boddicker again on screen.
Just giving Kurtwood Smith some royalties.
Yeah, no, Smith, we're not sending him money. Um,
I send Kurtwood Smith money every week.
yeah, why wouldn't you?
He keeps
Yeah.
asking me to stop. I have a restraining order.
Anyway. So Nico's parents are dead. That's what RoboCop was looking at earlier on. So at least there is some payoff later on.
He
Not
doesn't
loads of
tell her.
Nico things.
He doesn't tell her, and she never finds out.
He just says, "If you remember your parents, they're never really gone," and that's the end of that.
That's the end of that. I'm not going to tell you that your parents are dead. You're not going to find out that your parents are dead. You can just hang around with Marino.
Yeah, and all these other unsavories. Otomo goes to some service station, steals a map, and then cuts down a flashing sign with a samurai sword. Like, why
Why?
did he do that?
I
Why did
don't
he
know why
do
he did
that?
that. The guy was like, "You can't steal that map," and he chopped his sign down. The guy was like, "Fair enough. You can steal the map all you want, mate."
What he should have
Let's
done
kill
was
him.
chop that bloke's head
Steal.
off. Yeah, that would
Yeah.
have been better. Yeah. Lazarus discovers the flight pack and she designed it for him. And then we cut back. Ottomo's putting that red line on the map he just stole. I was like, did he really need a map? I'm sure he could have just figured it out.
Oh, hey, you've got Robo's convenient flight plot device.
Oh yeah. Because yeah, then we get him. She's attaching it to him, and apparently it takes cues from his hard drive to help him fly, but it also acts as a power generator in case he gets low efficiency. Well, isn't that convenient? So Robo has a flashback of Lewis dying for some reason. Where did that come from? And again, it's shown on the telly. And then Robo grabs his helmet.
Promise
And
me.
yeah, that shit. And then Robo grabs his helmet. And I thought, hang on, does he need someone to physically screw that in? He doesn't just go put it on. Like in the first one, you saw that it's got like bolts and you have to
Yeah.
screw it
Because
in.
if he leans over, it just fall off. Oh
Oh,
shit.
shit.
I can't bend. I can't bend.
And then he goes out to fuck up McDagger and he goes, I've got unfinished business. Like that. And then he goes into the police precinct and he asks where the staging area is. And he proceeds to set fire to everything. Then one
To
of the
do the two
pre
guys like, you got a light? Allow me, scum.
hilarious.
It's so shit. It is so shit.
It's completely reckless. He sets fire to a bunch of explosives that are down on the floor for some reason. Some guys to dive to safety.
It's like that scene in the drug factory from the first film, but
But not
less
as
good.
good. Yes.
Yeah, but nowhere near as good.
Yeah, that bit of the drug factory is awesome. This bit's stupid. Nobody dies. No one gets shot in the dick. It's just crap. And
I
all he's gonna
cannot stress enough how disappointed I am by the lack of dick shots.
and also isn't he just gonna piss Reed off? It's like you set off his police precinct on fire.
It's I was kind of watching this bit. This kind of where what the problem with RoboCop in this film is, right? And it's a mixture of I think three things. The suit doesn't fit him. It clearly doesn't fit him,
Yeah.
so he can't move properly in it. His performance is terrible. He's bad. He's bad in this film, and it's just shot so flatly. Like they
Yes.
just point the camera at him constantly. It's like, stop doing that. Like there is a way to shoot a RoboCop film. Just go back and watch the first film. See how he did, how
Yeah.
Paul Verhoeven did it. Um, yeah, yeah. Was it Paul Verhoeven?
Yeah, Paul Farron. Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Verhoeven. I don't know why. I was second guess myself there. That's how you shoot a RoboCop film. This is just like a fucking point the camera over there. Yep, great.
Yeah, there was even
That'll
a bit at the
do.
beginning bit, you know, when the rehab guy's running off to Nico, it's all shaky cam and horrible. I'm like, oh God,
Yeah.
yeah, it's very badly shot. Right. Then we cut to some really shit hotel, which is essentially a brothel. There's loads of rehab soldiers there, including McDagger. And then we see that McDagger is on a call to Kanamitsu. They're in cahoots all along. And he
Will
was of
this
the
will this come up? Nope.
nope. So he was of the understanding that Otomo was supposed to take care of Robocop while he was clearing the air. I was like, hang on a minute. You took
Why?
care of Robocop yourself. You shot a grenade at him, and he's not been
Yeah.
back for ages.
You don't
Why do
know
you need
that he's
Otomo?
you don't know that he's not dead. I
Exactly.
assume yeah. So then they didn't think that he blew up in the sewer. They just didn't bother following up on it, which makes no sense. Also, why is any of this like? Why are you with Kanamitsu?
Yeah,
Sure,
why has it got to be a
does it?
secret? Why can't he just tell the CEO this is what I'm doing? Why is it all a
Yeah,
big
because
secret?
and again, this doesn't come back. Although there is the thing where he says to him something like, "Oh, have you used the thing?" And he's like, "Oh, it hasn't come to that yet." It's like, what thing?
The blibbity blob thing, it doesn't do anything. I was like,
No,
what
the
is the
blibbity
point
blob,
of it?
the blibbity blob, yeah, the blibbity blob thing, as we find out later, is triggered by the robots and their thermonuclear devices killing when they die. But that's not a thing he can use. So what is the?
It,
Why has
it
he
does
got it?
it doesn't make
What's
any fucking sense.
what's he? What is it? It doesn't. And I didn't think of this when I was a kid. It didn't occur to me. I was watching it last. I was like, sorry, whoa. I thought this was like a big bomb that he's got that he can set off if he needs to, but it's not. It's triggered by the robots getting destroyed,
Which
and he
doesn't make
can't turn it
sense.
off.
When the first Automo gets killed earlier on, that
Doesn't
doesn't set off.
happen. No,
None of it makes sense. None
no,
of it. And there's
absolute
even a bit when he does
toss.
turn the blippity blob machine on because he goes, "Okay, Mr. Robocop, come find me." I was like, "So why did you just turn that on?"
Yeah,
Anyway,
I don't.
we're getting ahead of
Oh,
ourselves. Right. And then at the door, it's McDaggett's spy, and it's Coots, that bastard. Oh, didn't see that coming.
but the thing is that again, the spy is set up and resolved in one scene. He
Yeah,
mentions in one scene, "I'd be dead too if my spy hadn't tipped me off," and then you find out who the spy is. It's like, oh, well, that was a nice bit of subterfuge there. Oh, you could have kept us guessing who the spy might be. You could have set the spy up a lot earlier. You set it up in that one scene and then immediately reveal who it is. And even
yeah.
though McDaggett doesn't seem to know that it's him for some reason.
Which doesn't make sense because he said, "Oh, the last tip saved your ass." I'm like, "So what did you do before? Put a bit of paper under the door or something?" Like, what? Anyway,
Run away before Robocop blows you up.
yeah. And then a young sex worker starts being hounded by rehab officers, so Robo shoots him through the window because why not?
If ever there was a time in this film where he could have shot someone square in the dick, that was it.
Because that's
But
exactly what they're going for. It's the same sort of shot for that woman for the first one. You see the shadow. I'm like, ah, here we go. Here we go. No, no dick shooting.
and then they shoot him and they go through the window with no blood. Are they even dead? Who knows? I don't
Who
know.
knows? They
They
still
could
got
have
their
just hit
dicks.
their yeah, their dicks fully intact. Both both testicles, assumedly in working order.
Yep. And then Robo makes his way at McTaggart's room, and en route he shoots an officer's gun dangling on a string. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! Like,
It's so
don't.
and he's like, whoa!
It's so bad. And then he gets to McTaggart's room and shoots a circle to barge his way through. Why?
Just kick the door in. You made of metal, you prick.
Oh my
Also, when he
God.
burst into McTaggart's room, it looked like the way that it's shot and the way they both turn, it looks like some a wife has just walked in on her husband having a gay affair. They're both like,
Oh, I say.
and Cooch is sort of down low, like, oh,
What are you up to, Coons?
what are you up to?
And then Robo's about to shoot McDagger because he goes, I've got a message from Officer Lewis or something. And then he's distracted by Coons. Hey, I know you. And during all that, McDagger's taking the Liberty Plot machine, just jumps out the window. He's like, you'd be dead.
Yeah,
You'd be
that
dead.
was a hell of a stunt. I did appreciate the jump out the window, like the
Yeah,
way
it was good.
went down like a sack of shit.
Yeah, that poor
And then
stuntman.
conveniently jumps into a van that's waiting.
Yeah, but that's fine because Robocop accommodates a pimp's pink Cadillac. This is the part of the movie I hate the most. I'm like, oh God, if you ever, you kind of had me, now you've lost me. Now you've lost me.
They never had me. They didn't
I,
have me from the second Nico opened a fucking mouth. I was
oh,
like,
all
oh
right, all
God.
right. And then yeah, it gives chase. McDaggett's shooting the shit out of it. All of this is so fucking stupid. Robo shoot out a hole of the windshield. Just points his hand out the windshield to shoot the van. McDaggett's got machine guns, rocket launchers, everything. And then some kids are playing hockey, so McDaggett just throws a load of money at them, which makes them scatter. And his director's like, "Children at play." Oh no! Spits the car.
I did appreciate that a little bit because it is the kind of thing that Robocop wouldn't do. He wouldn't run over an innocent kid.
No,
So that's quite clever. The fact that he's in a half dilapidated Pimpmobile at that point is not.
yeah, he's driving along. It's like planes, trains, and automobiles. There's like nothing left of the car. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, it's just so bad, so bad. Bertha's playing cards with Marino at the Rebel base, and then Kuntz arrives looking all shifty. He goes, everyone just calm down. This will be over in a minute. He pulls out a gun. I've bitten down. Don't they all have machine guns?
Yeah, also, what's happened here is that the rehabs have told Kuntz to go in to the rebel base to calm them down before they attack, thus alerting them to the fact that they're about to attack. They didn't know they were coming. Why has Kuntz had to go in there and tip them off? All he's done is give them at least a 2 second head start. It does. Again, it's because you've just introduced the fact that Kuntz is a traitor and you want to resolve it as quickly as possible because it will play no part after this point. And it had no part other than they were like, we need to move the plot along a bit. Oh, Kuntz is a traitor? Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Zach, again, the guy with the baseball cap, I think that's his name, stops Kuntz, and then suddenly all the rehab officers burst in. There's a big old shootout, and that causes Bertha to be shot and die. She's like, it's okay. She just falls down. If it's
Nico goes,
possible,
Arthur! It's like, someone shoot the child.
yeah, why did Bertha have to die? Shoot Nico. But yeah, it's Bertha dying is even funnier than Lewis dying. I don't know, it's just the way she just shit. He just collapses on that mattress. It's so bad. Um, yeah, the rebels are shot, but Nico managed to escape like through some fencing, and there's scenes that follow really piss me off with all this. But then Lazarus is taken captive by McDaggett, and then it looks like Kuntz has been shot by McDaggett because he says, "Well, if we let him live, we'd have to pay him." I was like, "That's a good point." Yep,
Well, yeah, that's fair. That's just economics.
yeah, definitely.
If people are alive and they've done some work for you, you have to pay them. If they die,
There you go.
unless criminal negligence and life insurance payouts, probably not worth it actually. They probably
Yeah,
should have just paid him. It'll be worse in the long run.
yeah. Lesson learned. Right at the police station, McDaggett and Johnson are telling Reed that the whole cops have got to join the rehab team to evict everyone and so they can demolish Cadillac Heights. And then Reed
Told
quits
you
the
we're,
force and
I
drops his
told you we're
badge.
cops. We don't do that kind of work.
He goes, think about your family. You got to go and feed them. I need to go home and face my family. And then just drops his badge and walks out. And then
But again,
instantly everyone copies him and does the same.
Everyone's like, "Oh, snow day!
Yeah.
Oh, we're joining a rebellion. Oh, I thought we were just having the afternoon." Um, the cop mutiny again is set up and paid off in one scene.
Yeah.
In one scene, it's not. They don't trail it. They don't suggest it at any point. It's not
No.
even let up like that. McTaggart
No.
never goes into the police station before this point. It's
No.
just
Yeah.
oh,
Because at least in
lazy.
the second one they carry on the whole striking thing. Because all throughout the second one, all the cops are striking. They're going out with their signs, going, "Oh fuck OCP" and all that. And then right at the end, they all band together to save Robocop. Like, yeah, it's paid off at the end. Fine.
Yeah,
This does not do this.
no.
There you go. Then they all walk out, and Johnson's like, "Oh, think about your retirement benefits. What are you doing?" Oh. And then Taggart then says to some criminals, like, "How would you and your friends like to earn some money, chum?" I was like, not a bad
Jump.
idea. Yep.
This is the kind of thing I thought, like, why didn't they just kill and move out all of the gangs from their area and redo that bit?
Yeah.
Because they're like moving all these people out of the houses. The gangs are still there. What you can do about them?
Maybe that's phase two.
Phase two, kill the gangs.
Yeah. Yep. Get a cartoon of Johnny Rehab on media break for some reason. Like, all right, okay,
It's
that's
them
something.
trying to do the thing the first one. Oh, we're going to do a bit of satire. No, you're not. It's not. It's not
That's
as good.
no, it's just some shit cartoon. We get more bullshit of RoboCop slander, and then one of the newsreaders doesn't believe any of it, so just storms off. I was like, yeah, you're fired now. That's stupid.
Yeah, well done.
Yep. Nico has made her way to OCP headquarters. How? How? Just through crawling through some fence underground. How has she done that?
I don't know.
And then she starts using her computer and wires to hack into media break. She's watching Casey Wong picking his nose. What is this
What is,
stupid shit?
this film is long enough. Be
Yeah,
less long.
thinks it's not even that long. It's like an hour 40. It just feels longer.
Too long. It
I mean, we've
feels
been
so
talking about
long.
this longer than the film is.
It feels so long because it's got no narrative drive. It just
No.
stuff happens. It's like God.
Yeah. Then she manages to hack into security cameras of where Lazarus has been taken prisoner. I was like, how? Of all the cameras everywhere, why have you hacked into this one? It's not even like you were looking for it.
It's Lazarus being kept hostage in a room full of paintings.
Yeah.
So
Budget.
it's very cape.
Yeah. Um, then there's shots of punks all suited up and getting weapons, and I again presume this is the Splatterpunk people. Marino and Zach are discussing Bertha's plan. For some reason, Zach gives his cap to some kid. I was like, why did you do that? That dirty old cap, and you just put it on some kid's head.
Here, kid. Wear my cap. My head is hot.
And then Reed and the cops arrive. They said they'll fight with them and defend Cadillac. Otherwise, he's like, it's time to show how real cops kick ass. Yes. Yes, I love Reed. Robocop's back at the rebel base, but everyone has left. Andor has been killed, and he sees the map drawing on the floor, and Otomo is here. Oh no! Because Otomo easily kicks the shit out of Robocop, who just lets him do it.
He does. He just stands there like a mug while he knocks him on his ass.
Just by lightly tapping him with the sword. And then he cuts off Robocop's fingers and his arm with the samurai sword. I thought it's lucky it was that arm that has the gun fitted, wasn't it?
Luckily, he cut off his gun arm.
That's right. And the cops are getting ready to fight. The rehab squad are approaching, and then after being knocked to the floor again, Robo puts on that gun arm and blows off Ottomo's head. Oh, well, that's the end
Yeah,
of that
luckily
then.
RoboCop lands right by his gun arm, which was just handily lying on the floor.
Yeah, what?
This is where we keep it on the floor.
Why not? Comes back, I'm home.
Oh, but don't you leave that there. You put it on the rack next to your flamethrower arm
Yeah.
like you're supposed to.
And then the CEO comes in, getting all angry. McDaggett pulls the gun and is like, sit down. Like, why? Nico somehow has managed to crawl into where Lazarus is, and then they hack into a satellite dish outside using her laptop. What?
Oh, tapper, 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 tapper,
Uh,
tapper.
yeah, and then Lazarus broadcasts to everyone, telling the world what shits OCP are. I was
Oh,
like,
it's
yeah,
like
we know
OCP is lying.
this.
Yeah, OCP is lying to you for big business. Well, yeah, obviously. Everyone knows that. That's not news to anyone.
No,
That's
Media Break
how is that?
reports on this every fucking day.
They own everything. Of course they're corrupt.
Uh, Everyone outside's fighting, trying to save their homes, and then Robo starts crawling over that jetpack, which can restore his power. I thought, I wonder if they'll use this for anything else.
Yeah, luckily RoboCop has his plot device flight pack.
Yeah. The rehab team arrive on the tank and starts blasting the rebels off buildings. But what's that noise? Why, it's Robocop flying! And I've written,
Somebody says, "Oh
Jesus.
no, we're outgunned." Well, yeah, obviously. Was you're outgunned? They got a fucking tank, idiots.
Yeah, yeah. And then he comes flying in like Iron Man, shooting missiles, and everyone starts cheering. And Reed's like, splatter that, you sons of bitches.
through there, he's blowing the people off the building. I'm like, if I ever get blown up, I want to let out a silly scream with the guy in the
Wilhelm
tank goes,
scream.
"Arr!"
Yeah.
The guy in the tank is like, oh God.
Yeah, that missile lands convenient right inside the tank to blow him up. And then McDaggett turns on that blibbity blob machine. He goes, okay, Mr. Robocop, come and get me. It's like, this doesn't go anywhere. What?
It's not a thing. And he will come and get you by flying through a window
Oh,
that
mate.
conveniently breaks
Yeah,
before he goes through it.
that's an
Oh,
bit. It's so good. I love it. I fucking love it. So Lazarus have overpowered some security guards. She takes their guns. She goes, think it over, which is from the second one. I'm like, oh. And again, OCP stock has plummeted, and yeah, quite right, the window smashes. And then Robocop flies through on wires. It's so good. How can I help you also? By resisting arrest. He's like, don't count on it, chum. And he's like, dead or
What?
alive, you're coming with me. He's like, no, it's not as
What
good
does
as
that
when
mean?
Peter
But
Weller says it.
what does it mean? Don't count on it, chum. By resisting arrest, don't count on it. I'll come quietly.
Yeah, I'll
What are you
cooperate.
talking about? Don't count on it, chum. What? What?
It's just an excuse for the payoff in a minute. And then, but wait, Automo is back. And then
Oh,
Robo shoots. Gone.
I was like, oh, good. Another samurai. And seconds later, oh, good. A third one.
Yes, the big twist. There's three Automos. So Robo shoots the shit out the first Automo, and it just makes him look weird. And then there's another one, and then the CO runs off with Johnson and the
It makes
others.
him look weird so that one guy can wear a mask when you've got both Ottomos on
All
the
right,
screen at the same
yeah,
time
okay,
because
that's
they
why.
can't have the same guy spliced in.
Yeah. And as the CEO Johnson runs off, McDack goes, where are you going? You're going to miss all the fun. Fuck. And then again, the Autobots just beat up Robocop, who just lets them do it instead of shooting them. And then Nico uses her computer to somehow make the two Autobots slice off each other's heads. Like, what are you doing?
How?
No, don't do that.
Is this where he says, no flashy heroics, Tin Man, or the two cuties say bye bye? who, who the fuck wrote that line?
Red Decker
And when,
wrote that.
and when, that's a good day's work.
Yeah, I'd imagine a lot of this shit is not Frank Miller, but there you go.
Oh,
And then that sets off the blibbity blob device, which will self-destruct in 15
stupid
seconds.
fools!
No, he's like, oh, you stupid fools. He goes, we're all dead, you stupid slag. And then, yeah, even as a kid, I thought it was funny. He called her a slag.
He says, like, he's, the little girl, after she's hacked them, he's like, stupid fools! These are fitted with a thermonuclear failsafe device. Obviously. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they be?
He's like, 15 seconds, we're all going to be vaporized. What? It's like fucking Mission Impossible.
We're dead, you stupid slag.
I love the fact he called her a slag. It's so funny. Even as a kid, I found that bit hilarious. And then Robocop goes, don't count on it, chum. He rolls on back to his flight pack. It burns McDaggett's leg. The wires move him over to Nico and Lazarus to grab on. And they fly out. And it's quite obviously a puppet with two other puppets. And like, as it goes out.
So why is then McDaggett crawling towards it as if he could turn it off? He doesn't know how to turn it off.
You should just
It's
go
not
out
a
the
thing to turn
window.
off. If they have a failsafe device, which means they go thermonuclear when they get destroyed, that means that's not, you can't turn that off. That's not how that works from that blibbity blob machine. What are you doing?
I imagine he probably wanted to grab it and throw it out the window, which is still probably a terrible idea. But I'm going to throw
Just blow
myself
the
out the
building
window. Yeah. And then, yeah, they fly out to safety. The building blows up. And then outside, Kanemitsu has arrived from Japan in limo. And Cadillac Heights is restoring order. The CEO says, oh, look, we could gentrify this area. But the assistant says, no, you're fired. And then Kanemitsu comes over to Robocop and bows to him for some reason. Like, oh, you're a worthy opponent. Like, what?
What are we talking about?
And the CEO comes to talk to Robocop and goes, well, I got to hand it to you. What do they call you? Murphy, is it? He's like, my friends call me Murphy. You call me Robocop. Credits to original theme music.
End. Like it ends so quickly. Just bang, finished, go, get out of it.
I mean, to be fair, the first one ends really abruptly. No shooting someone, your name Murphy. And then it just ends. I'm like, that's cool. You know, but yeah,
Yeah.
this tries to do the same.
Stupid fucking film.
Oh, sweet Lord. Right. Okay.
Sweet Lord.
Let's rewind back. What did we love about it back then? We're 9, 10-year-old boys and we've watched Robocop. What did we love or hate about it?
Robocop.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said earlier, you could have given anything to me, Robocop, and I would have loved it. However, I must say, as a kid, I didn't realize that they downplayed all the violence. So within about 15 minutes of watching this, like, what? The tone isn't right on this. Like in Robocop 2, the opening shot is someone getting electrocuted badly in a car. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You know, and like This is just childishness from the word go, and I'm like, oh, I see what
It,
you've done. I've seen
it
what you've done.
it's toned down violence. It's toned down. They've got the broad beats of the satire from the first two, but they've missed any of sort of like the more outlandish, like the
Yeah,
thermonuclear board game and stuff like that. So like,
yeah.
funny, funny, funny. But like they don't have any of that. They don't. Got rid of all of it.
Okay,
It's mm.
but why did you love it as a kid? Just because it was RoboCop?
Well,
Because
it's
you said you want.
Robocop. Yeah, it's
But
Robocop.
in my mind, I'm like, yeah, but I'd
Also,
rather watch. Even as a kid, I'd rather watch one and two,
yeah, but
preferably one.
I had three. I didn't have one and
Ah, I
two.
see, I see, I see, I see. Yeah, I had a double pack on video of RoboCop 1 and 2. And interesting enough, my RoboCop 2 on video was cut. It wasn't until I got the box set of all three and I watched RoboCop 2, there's a couple of extra scenes. It was like, oh shit. So the video I watched
Mm.
was cut. There's a bit when Kane shoots some woman and throws her out of a limo. The bit where he shoots the woman's cut out. The bit when Officer Duffy is all strapped down, there's more of him getting all cut open. I'm like, oh shit. And then there's another bit when someone gets shot in the eye or something. So yeah.
Mm.
There you go. But yeah, the third one didn't have any of this. So even though it was a popcorn flick back then, I loved it because I still had the toys. I still watched that shitty TV show. I just love
Yeah,
RoboCop. But it was always in the back of my mind. Yeah, this film's fun, but it's not one and two. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah, I think that's why I loved it. It was RoboCop, and
yeah.
he's a superhero, right? Kids love him. Like it doesn't matter if it's an R-rated movie or whatever, but or you downplay it, kids are just going to gravitate towards to it. But I mean, during this era, he was everywhere. He was even in a Japanese fried chicken advert. It's like Japanese RoboCop fried chicken or something like that, and he comes out the TV to the tune from Back to the Future 3. You know, dun, 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 dun. YouTube it. It's fantastic.
Okay, I
RoboCop
will, I will,
fried
I will.
chicken.
That's yeah.
It's fucking
That's
brilliant.
what I'm doing as soon as we're finished on this call.
I will send you a link. It is brilliant. RoboCop fried chicken. It's excellent.
Right.
Um, yeah, I mean, did we love anything about it now? No,
No,
no.
no. I didn't like anything about it. Like there's all I liked about it, if I was to say anything, was looking at the people that are in it, and seeing like Pounder with, and then I was like, looking up what else she was in, like Demon Knight, which is a banger of a film. Like she's in End of Days, which, we
She's an
maybe
end of
could
days.
cover End of Days at some point.
She's
Yeah,
in
but
Sliver,
all of
that
the
delightful romp.
Sliver with Sharon Stone.
Yeah, yeah, that film where
Slither with, oh, okay.
no, no, the sexy film where apparently Sharon Stone and William Baldwin hated each other but still had to have sex in the film. But yeah,
No, okay. We've
I
all been
watched
there.
that when I was young. Yes. Um,
When you were young.
yeah.
See your
I watched
copy
that
of it
film
from
way too
here.
young. Yeah,
Well-worn copy of Slither.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. The other
Um,
movie's the Slug movie, isn't it? Yeah, no, not that one.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I've got three things that I liked about it. John McCarsall as McDaggett. The film has an easy to digest plot and isn't all over the place like Robocop 2, and the original soundtrack. They're the only three things I like
yeah,
about this film.
that's true. It had the original soundtrack back, which is a banger of a theme tune. Been whistling it to myself all day.
Yeah, it is awesome. But I mean, everything about this is bad. It's PG-13. The fake hacker technology stuff, the horrible
Oh,
casting, the stupid
oh,
samurai robots. RoboCop's an afterthought in this film.
you've got a great cast on this film and you fucking waste it.
Completely, completely. Lewis getting killed. What was the point of that? So stupid. Like
Well, I
RoboCop.
originally I'd heard that it was because she didn't want to come back, but I'd read previously that that's not true. That she was quite happy to come back. I mean, at that point, the work was drying up. She needed the money.
But even if she didn't want to come back, then don't cast her in the film.
Yeah,
It's just
don't put
stupid.
Lewis in the film. Lewis could have been transferred out between two and three. You've already lost Peter Weller.
Yeah,
He was busy off
exactly.
doing Naked Lunch. One of the
Yeah.
rumors is that he was willing to come back for it, but he was busy with Naked Lunch. But I bet he wouldn't have fucking come back with that script.
No, definitely not. Yeah, Ed Turner's made to look like a clown, and I'm sorry, the old one for me is that fucking bit with the pink Cadillac. Like that. I mean, the flying bit is pretty stupid, but the pink Cadillac is the epitome of why this film is awful.
It's where you've made it into a cartoon. It's where you've
Yeah,
completely lost the edge that the film had. Like the first film had action. It had it had an edge to it. Like it felt gritty. It felt
yeah,
like a very silly premise, which it is. Robocop is a silly premise that a man could be turned into a robot cop, and they did it with enough sort of grindhouse type feel and commitment to making it work that it does work, and it works
does.
as a character study. It works as a satire. It works as an
Yeah,
action film. It works on multiple different levels. Second one, weird film, weird, nasty film, which sort of just scattershot approach to everything, but still
kind
kept
of
that
works.
sort of
Yeah,
edge to it. This, fuck knows what they were thinking. Well, they were thinking, let's sell it to kids so we can sell toys.
but they already had sold toys before.
Yeah,
They didn't need this, you
yeah.
know.
They
I
didn't.
guess they couldn't want to make a really nasty film when that cartoon was about, and also
Well,
that TV series as well.
it's the way it was going, right?
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
okay. So Smith trivia. What's going on?
Right, it'll be quick. Robocop 3, directed by Fred Decker, Monster Squad, Night of the Creeps. Also, as previously said, he wrote The Predator, so it's not. I mean, I don't really like the Monster Squad, but there you go. Written by Fred Decker and Frank Miller, who everybody with even a passing interest in comics knows who Frank Miller is. Um, on a $22 million budget, it made 47 million at the box office, which means that it wasn't a huge flop. I mean, it basically with advertising would have broken even. Now, weirdly, I looked at the other films in this. Robocop 2, which was interestingly directed by Irvin Kershner, director of Empire Strikes Back, um, cost between 25 and 30 million, depending on what you read, and grossed 45.7. So this actually grossed more than Robocop 2
Hmm.
at the international box office. First film, 13.7 million budget, grossed 53.4 million at the box office, which isn't huge here. It obviously more than made
Hmm.
its money back. And I
Yeah.
find it weird that this film, and I mean, you got to adjust these for inflation, right? Because you're talking there's a gap of a few
Yeah. Yeah.
years
Yeah.
here. It's interesting that this looks so much cheaper
Oh God,
than
it's
the previous
tacky.
two.
It's
Yeah.
so tacky.
This was filmed in Atlanta. So it wasn't on the Hollywood backlot, but it was the 1996 Summer Olympics meant they were going to be demolished a lot. They were going to be demolishing a lot of the buildings so they could roll in and
Mhm.
demolish stuff. There was two RoboCop TV series that followed this. One in 1994, which is the one that we've previously talked about, and
Yep.
another one in 2001 called Prime Directives, which until I started doing research, I had never fucking heard of.
I remember seeing it in a video shop, and I was like, "Is that a film or is that a TV series?" But I've never seen it. I don't want to.
After the modest success of RoboCop 2, they'd greenlit two more films. After this one came out, they did not make the fourth film that they were planning on making. Frank Miller used parts of Robocop 2 script that were unused for Robocop 3. However, he was so disillusioned by the changes that were made both in 2 and 3 to his script that he left Hollywood and didn't come back until Sin City when he was given a lot more creative control. He then subsequently made was it the Spirit, which
Ugh.
is absolute shit. He also there was a couple of comic books which I actually want to go and pick up because I'd be interested to see what they do with them. Frank Miller's RoboCop and RoboCop: The Last Stand that were
Ooh.
used from his unused ideas for 2 and 3. They include the rehabs as well, so parts of it are still there,
Mhm.
but it's much more violent and much more adult in tone. As suspected, the suit was built for Weller in RoboCop 2, and as such, did not really fit Robert John Burke.
Yeah.
And this is when we get into the releasing stuff. So it was originally scheduled for mid 1992. Orion Studios then went through bankruptcy and were brought out. It was released in Japan, South Korea, and the Philippines by Columbia TriStar, who owned the international distribution rights. So they released that in 1992. So it was already available in 1992, which in which case meant that pirate copies came out and hit the market around about the same time. They
Ah.
also released the tie-in computer game of RoboCop 3, which completely spoiled the plot, and that was released up to a year before people saw it in the cinema. So if you'd played the game, you knew what was going to happen in the
Damn.
film. Um, Final little bits of trivia here. Um, the scene where I said this earlier, the scene where Robocop receives facial reconstruction after being badly damaged was written to explain why he no longer looked like Peter Weller, but it doesn't really come across like that, and I suspect that might be bullshit. Um, the only thing is that this is okay. This is a quote. According to Fredecka, if I had to do certain things over for RoboCop 3, it would be hiring an Asian stunt team for the fight sequences between Robo and Otomo, make the flying sequence really different and more exciting to go along with the Robo and Otomo sequences, and another shot of the screenplay to add more humor, more for his characters to do, and do more special things with it. So more humor, you don't need any more humor. More for characters to do, you just need it to be coherent. It doesn't. Anyway, that was all the trivia that I had.
Wow. I don't think I had anything subsequent, so there you go.
Mm.
Right, the final verdict. Does it hold up? No.
Nope. No,
No,
absolute shite.
no. But I'll tell you something. I
Could be
wasn't
one of the
bored
worst.
watching it. I wasn't bored watching it. I had a whale of a time just
I was
fucking
like,
making fun of it.
I felt this one. I was enjoying making fun of it, but I felt it. I was like, I got to about an hour in. I was like, oh, I want to go to bed.
Yeah, I had that.
It's 3 in the afternoon.
The second time when I was yeah, the second time when I was recapping it, I was like, Jesus, I want to go to bed. But there's just so much
I
nonsense to
mean,
write about. It just took forever.
listeners, this man watches all of these films twice. I watch it once, frequently the day of recording.
There you go. While we're recording.
While recording, I'm just like, oh, we're gonna have a little break. Cool, I'll just go watch the second half.
Yeah. All right. So next episode's nomination, that is you, Smith, because
Mm.
I put us through Robocop 3. What you got for us next nomination?
I'm going back to another childhood classic. It's an adaptation of a TV show made
Okay.
into a feature film. I mean, can all agree that there's been very few TV shows that have been made into decent feature films, but will this be one of them? We're going back to the 90s again to watch the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, the movie.
Oh my God. I don't think I've seen that since it's come out in 1996. My God,
I had
30
it on V.
years.
I got a VHS for Christmas. I've watched it loads.
Okay. All right. So Mighty Morphin Power Rangers the movie. One of our regular listeners will be exceptionally happy we've chosen that. He's an uber Mighty Morphin Power
He
Rangers
will be
fan.
until I get my hands on it.
Yeah, yeah. He'll probably stop being friends with us after our review. There we go. Right then. So just want to plug our socials before we get out of here. You can reach us on email at it doesn't hold up podcast at gmail.com. We're on Instagram at it doesn't hold up podcast. We're on Twitter, or X as it's now known, it doesn't hold up pod. We're on YouTube at it doesn't hold up podcast. And we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all other good places to listen to podcasts. Remember, please do give us a good review, and we welcome things for us to cover. So please send us your suggestions. So, Smith, is there anything else you'd like to say on Robocop 3 before we regroup for Power Rangers?
Yes, the podcast finished, you stupid slag.
Well, I just want to say, our friends call us Smith and Stew. You call us, it doesn't hold up.